Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. It's such a beautiful day today. Today is April 4th, which is Ramsgate, and that does come up today. I posted a few pictures on Instagram if you want to check them out with some messages. And I have 5 of my messages of the day, and this one abbreviated twin flame read. So it's not 7 deck like I normally do, but 3 decks, the numerology deck, the SIRIAN Starseed, and the Rider-Waite Mini. And let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths first if you'd like to. If not, you can go ahead and skip ahead. But I'm going to take a few deep breaths. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending you all so much love and blessings. I hope you guys are all also having a beautiful day, and thank you so much for joining me. Remember to hit like, share, and subscribe below if you like the video. And I'm going to get right into it since I have 5 of these messages of the day. We're going to roll a die first for the twin flames on this Ramsgate 4/4/2023. Ramsgate. Okay, we have the 4 for April. And again, we're in Aries right now. And my voice is cracking a little bit there, so, you know, jump right out of the gate with Aries. We have Leo energy here as well. So there's 2 fire energies, Aries and Leo. And then we have Venus here. So Venus would be Libra and Taurus. So Libra and Taurus are cardinal and fixed, along with fixed Leo, and then Aries is also cardinal. So we have 2 cardinals and 2 fixed here. So a lot of leadership and then follow through would be the positive aspect of that. And remember, we're still in Taurus in the North Node, with Scorpio in the South Node until I believe it's July 18th. And here is my first message of the day, and this starts with the past life deck. For those of you not familiar with my messages of the day, they always start with the underlying energies on the left here, the bottom of the deck, and then we have 3 cards usually dealt. Sometimes a 4th card will come out with the 3, and then there's always cards at the end for each deck for me to count, and I also incorporate those messages into the read as well. Okay, but it's mainly the 3 decks, the 3 cards pulled for each deck. So we have the past life deck up here. This is the animal deck, which I don't normally use for this because there's a lot of description in each card, so it's a little bit much. But here is my mixed deck. This is both the LENORMAND Reverie and the KIPPER deck combined, and then the Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook, and then my half deck of Rider-Waite with just mostly the characters to perhaps identify people. So this is the first one. This was done on this was done on April 1st, all right? So we have messages from the 1st through to yesterday, because I haven't done any reads today. Buddha keeps coming up a lot, and the first thing that was coming up on the night of the 31st before this first read, 1912 was coming up a lot for me, because that's the year the Titanic went down. But I also was listening to Michael Sala's video. They were talking about the Grand Canyon and the tunnels down there and all the artifacts and gold and stuff that are being hidden, you know, in the Grand Canyon by the government. And so I was looking at more information online about that, the Kincaid expedition back then, and it was 1912 is when the government came in and stopped the Kincaid expedition of gold And again, you know, the cover-ups that happened once they pulled everyone out of the Grand Canyon so that they could control whatever was there and also use it to hide things. So anyway, the year 1912 was coming up, and again 1881 keeps coming up, and I just went to pick up my taxes and the address there was 881. So that's significant. 81 for me is the end of karma around the world. It does come from the numerology book, The Divine Triangle, which ends at age 81. And yeah, so I thought it was interesting that 1912 was the year they stopped people from going in the canyon independently, that the ship went down. So I wanted to see if there was any relationship to that, but the Titanic went down actually before that. And they had been trying to get the Grand Canyon to be, you know, part of the government for many years. You know, they kept retitling it until they finally, I think it was 1919 or 21, something like that, when they finally got it as a national park where nobody could go in there anymore. But let's see here. It was interesting too. I was looking up some of the records from that. And the Laguna Dam came up, as well as, let's see. And again, I was looking in the Smithsonian Institute information, which is hard to actually get any information on this because obviously a lot of it's been taken offline, I'm sure. Let's see. So 1838 is when the Smithsonian Legacy came through. It was 100,000 gold sovereign was delivered to the mint in Philadelphia, which was about $100,000 at that time, which was then recoined in U.S. currency. It was donated by Smithson, who was the child of a wealthy Englishman, and they believe that he donated his estate to the Smithsonian because he didn't agree with his father or whatever. But the engraving by the Heliotype Printing Company there regarding Charles Doolittle Walcott, who served at the Smithsonian, the year came up 1881 again. All right, so let's see what else was. Oh, the Roosevelt Dam came up as well. And they, you know, in their video, they were talking a lot about how, you know, there were giants and all that kind of thing found in the Grand Canyon that were destroyed by the Smithsonian back then, so that they wouldn't so-called, you know, cause hysteria. And that was Brad Olson on with Michael Sala, if you want to check out that video. All right, so this first one that I just showed you from April 1st, the cards at the end ending up being 1, 1, 2, 1, and 2, and then 1, 2, 5, 1, 8. And I get two different numbers because sometimes the first cards will come out and then other cards will come out. I'm guided to deal more cards. So there's like the first run of cards and then the final run of the cards. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 5, 1, 8, which came up as a leap to 12, 12, which is also 1, 2, which is the masculine and the feminine times 2, the balanced wise ones. And then 1, 2, 5 was coming up, so I looked up silver, and 1, 2, 5 is actually, what came up first was Silver Eagle Lane in North Carolina, and get this, the zip code was 28, which is Twin Flames, and then 117. And that was Morrisville, North Carolina, and Lake Norman. 0.125 is considered nickel because that's the amount of silver, which is very small, 12.5%. But, you know, sterling would be 97.5% the other way. So at 927, which is the Hermit, well, actually I dealt these cards between 907 and 909. And the 7 is the Chariot, of course. The 8 is the Strength, and the 9 is the Hermit. The underlying energy started at 927. 27 is the Ace of Wands. And so the first card that came up in the underlying energy here was Forgiveness, along with the Empress, 3, and then 33 of the Man with Concern, the oyster, and then the Knight of Cups. Two doves not looking at each other who need to forgive. The Empress and the Angora rabbit. I'm having trouble talking. I don't know what Mercury's doing right now. Very fertile with ideas. A time to hop into creativity to bring forth prosperity, with the 33, which is the man with concerns of martyrdom. And again, here we are approaching Easter, which again, the Easter would be the rising, so we're dealing with the hanging as well, which is this week. Today being the 4th, and I think Easter is on the 9th. 33 is the man with concerns of martyrdom, that 33 Christ vibration, putting their feelers out as the pearl is about ready to be the Knight of Cups, bringing love to temptation? Or is that to Capricorn? Or can you trust them? And locking you in. The underlying energy of the past life or parents, and the spouse, medicine man or woman, with the dream catcher and angels, or doctor and Mary, or angelic mother, with Asian influence, with yellow covering the heart, the solar plexus, the liver, the stomach, and the left shoulder, or shaman was male, going where angels fear to tread. Mary and Kuan Yin showing up here with prayer and Chinese medicine. The shaman, Mary, Kuan Yin, and angels and Buddha, Kundalini, all healers. It's like it's a calling, all healers. And the Father's hand as well as healing in connecting with the child directly. Native America and the TP life. Again from yesterday. The energy of the shamans and the archangels, where I showed you the archangels, where the A's were very curved, like an Asian temple, like a Buddhist temple. The shamans and the AA of archangels, with the lines across being the bridges that connect across the mountains, are Buddhist temples and archangels with Buddha or Dalai Lama and the finger of God, or God's stamp of approval. As Father points at TP, the small child grabs his finger instead. North America, and both Mexico and US were coming up for me there, and Asian health influences. The Father caught a dream, along with Martin, to bring angels and Buddha into healthcare and pass it on to their child. To incorporate all perspectives of God's children and ground them in nature with forgiveness, the biggest healer of all. After all, the two doves are pure. They just see from different perspectives. Spouses of fertile empress and martyring provider, all clammed up with feelers out, as the Knight of Cups is offering love to the devil, or codependency, perhaps Capricorn workaholic, at 9:57, which is the Hermit and the Three of Swords. And at that moment, I was hearing a lot of birds chirping outside, you know, those first group chirpings of spring. At 2:33 on the clock right now, the High Priestess, or Mary Magdalene, and the 33 of the Christ energy. And it was just 13:40 to 41 on my clock here, too, which is the 13 of transition and death, the dark night of the soul. And then the 40 to 41 is the Page of Cups to the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail. So at 9:58, which is the Four of Swords, which for me is the 5D connection, the biblical energy of thinking about biblical stuff was coming up because I was thinking about what I had said on the video, on my last video, about my family names coming up, like Mary and Esther and little Eve, which is Evelyn. And then the men in my family as well, David and Aaron, and I have George and Constantine as well. But the carpenter working with their hands and wood, right? It's kind of a funny combination there, right? Their hands and the wood. Covering their head and banging out a fourth leg in the fourth quarter of bench, to find stability in being benched on the whispering bench. And the scribe or writer then came up with phobias, or afraid to fail at it, or her fear that he won't pick up the pen. One card here at the end with the mother reading to children as the father works. She can only pray for his success as she had no control of it. It's out of my hands. And then Michael Jackson was coming up. It's out of my hands. Right, so that was coming up from She's Out of My Life. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I don't know whether to live or die. And it cuts like a knife. She's out of my life. It's out of my hands. To think for 2 years she was here and I took her for granted. I was so cavalier. The way that it stands. She's out of my hands. And Spirit's connecting with me big time with that. So I've learned that love's not a possession. And I've learned that love won't wait. And needs expression, but I learned too late. She's out of my life. Damned indecision and cursed pride. I kept my love for her locked deep inside, and it cuts like a knife. She's out of my life. So at 10:10, with 2 wheels back to back, the Wheel of Fortune, and I always get big wheels keep on turning when the 2 wheels come up together. The underlying energy here of the cow and the 7 of Autumn or Pentacles, waiting for the seeds to mature. The 19 of the Sun and the Bluebird, that success is granted, with the 9 of the Hermit, Firefly, to be the beacon for others and contemplate, retreat. The 11 of Strength and the Maasai Lion, and the Maasai is M-A-S-A-I, which was bringing up the Dalai Lama. So the Dalai Lama and the Maasai Lion and the Lamb were coming up, of true strength and kindness, of forgiveness and compassion. The Divine Feminine's heart, the cow, the ox on the surface, with the sun, the wise one, and the strength of the king of the jungle, and the purest child. With the cards coming up as 19911, with ERB and Omega, and the zip code 19911 was coming up, and then the 11 of Omega, and full, and the brim hard hat. I'm trying to figure out what I was writing down there. It's the leap to the 99 and the 11. I can't even remember what ERB was supposed to stand for there. 19911. Omega alignment. Again, Omega is the crown, right? The crowning of an enlightenment. And the full shining here. So when I looked up in 19911, what came up was a mutation. It's 19911A. To G mutation analysis. G polymorphism. In prothrombin factor 2, the gene that may moderate the risk of DVT, or deep vein thrombosis. And prothrombin was being broken down as pro-THR, which is the high road, and then ohm, and then bin. The risk of DVT, so clotting, but vein clot as opposed to arterial. The shining light and holding the light are aligning here, exposing 911 or an emergency or event. The bluebird, the firefly, the lion and the lamb of happiness as the butterfly watches, the lion with flowers in their mane, and the lamb feeling infinitely protected. The Maasai lion was coming up as the Ma, and the Say, S-A-I, lion, and the Dalai, the Dad, L-A-I, Lama, which also references the lamb in Ramsgate today. The 5 of summer here with the dragonfly, and keeping it light, and dragon, which is the dragging on, the breathing in and flying 2 as 1. How beautiful on gossamer wings, with the 21 world and the Shetland sheepdog, again referencing the lamb, to the stallions, which is the stall lioness of completion, success, and coming full circle in accomplishment. The Three of Spring of the Sea Turtle, reviews to make long-term plans based on success in the past may require patience here from you, so take a swim, because remember, the turtle is much faster in the water. Then the koala comes up, reminding you not to think but meditate, with the Five of Unity. And the polar bear with two cubs being a mentor during this time, with the Three of the Empress. Now is the time to hop into action at 10:33, again referencing the 33 of Christ and Easter right now, and the 10 of that high vibe destiny. The Four of Spring and two otters swimming backstroke, perhaps completing a project, or the reference of enjoying your very happy home life, learning how to receive love and flow. The 18 of the Moon and the Lynx, to trust your intuition, that worry is unnecessary. And the Four of the Emperor and the Deer Mouse, with structure, organization, and wisdom to offer. Counting nuts and berries, coins or chips, with flower and butterfly nearby to help. The full moon's coming, that all will be revealed. Have fun, relax, and get organized. Spring cleaning at 10:38, which references the high vibe destiny of the Queen of Cups, or the Mary Magdalene energy. And the 38 kept coming up a lot this week. So 33 is the Christ vibration. 38, Queen of Cups, references the Mary Magdalene reference. She's also, Jesus and Mary are referencing the twin flames on our journey. And they each come up as different cards. Like she's usually the Queen of Cups, but sometimes she comes up as the Queen of Wands, as the fire aspect, the Omega aspect, and then other times she comes up as the Queen of Swords, as Lady Liberty, and the one who speaks her truth. And then of course the Queen of Pentacles, which comes up as the Golden Gate, it's kind of like the epitome of Mary Magdalene, where she finds her grounding. And two cards came up at the end here, the Five of Autumn and the Seven of Water, with the Manatee and the Magpie. And Manatee was coming up as the man at the energetic exchange, the EE, or Man-A-T, which is the top dog reference. And then the Magpie, which is the mother with the G-Pie. And again, pi can reference that circle with the line down the middle, as in pi. And Mag is the might, the power, the rabbit and the wizard, right? The one who can pull a rabbit out of his hat. The rest, the core, the nucleus, the stone, the pit, the seed, and the belly. That Mag is, right? It's the most important part, the center of it. The power of the magician and his rabbit, pulling a rabbit out of the hat. And there's going to be a top hat coming up here, because that keeps coming up too, with the man with the yellow hat wearing a top black hat. And then actually my daughter went to DC with her friend this weekend, and they went to see, and I was getting Curious George Goes to DC, and also they went to see the Van Gogh exhibit down there, and Van Gogh came up in my cloud pics, and you can check them out on Instagram. I may actually post one of them on this video as well. But manifesting out of nowhere here with magic. There were actually 3 pictures I got in the clouds of Van Gogh. One is like just his eye, like someone leaning on their hand with their knuckles right underneath the one eye. And then 2 of them, one like shows with no ear on the left, and then the other one was his other side, his other profile. But I'll show you those pictures at some point. So the magic coming up here with pi, P-I, and sharing half and half, or private investigator, or sparkly things with the magpie. The mother's spiraling pie, her aqua rose gold mother's heart, can't resist sparkling. It's not time to take a risk, collect instead, or build a nest, or cup to hold. Perhaps an innocent has been stealing your things. You may feel bloated or weighed down by emotion, so organize instead. Find things you love or things you've forgotten you had. You may find some treasure you thought you had lost. At 10:51 to 52, which is the King and Queen of Swords, all of a sudden, where is the love keeps coming up in the background. I was getting first, Father, Father, and right, so help us from above. People got me questioning, where is the love? With the 28 of the Ace of Cups and the loving man, twin flame, hermiting the changes of the Knight of Wands, honoring the sudden thoughts of her, and the King of Cups wondering where the time has gone. The 39 of the Knight of Cups takes a risk, or father with concerns of martyrdom. Where is the love? So this is still running, this thread is still running in the background. As Easter approaches, Virgo and Scorpio energies here, with Sagittarius or fire and water in a sudden event. Don't shoot the messenger, and two knights and Jesus Christ, or suddenly time is of the essence as the hermit quietly strategizes as Scorpio sends in the troops while thinking of her and 3 keys, which is also the tree keys, the tree house, the tree of life, basically. And again, that 7 key comes up as the gamma ray or the boomerang. The 3 keys of unconditional love, the King of Cups, the bird and the boomerang, the hermit and the Knight of Wands, the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups, the holy roller. Where is the love? So that's still playing. The 43 at 11:01, the alignment with the Magician again, coming together with the 3 of Cups in the labyrinth. Some quiet time to go within the garden of prayer, away from Gethsemane, to her secret garden inside of thee, as 3 make their way to her center of gravity and dome. Lady Liberty's altar. And again, there's an etheric altar from Atlantis above the Statue of Liberty. And his periphery of the anti-gravity of how he's situated with Yamaka on the crown, his and her cover-ups, with 12, the wise counsel, or pair of bookends, the grounder and the flyer reaping rewards of valuing self and hanging out, or hung out to dry after the rain or strain of the brain. At 11:08, the alignment of the 8 or the dance, with 33, 43, 12, and 33 again, with martyrdom, and again Easter and the Christ vibration and the dome, with freedom from martyrdom while enjoying the journey, and wise pairings to the center of the earth and the never, never landing. The 33 of 2 birds flying east to self, and occasionally socializing, on the way down, having fun, shining all the way, ha ha ha, or father clearing his energies or predisposition before coming together to hang out with pair of wise owls. Before flying east again at 11:16, which is justice and alignment, and the 16 of the Tower or sudden events. So 7 of Pentacles to 8 of Pentacles, going from the reaping of rewards to then investing in something or deciding what you're going to do with that money now. Are you going to retire with it? Are you going to invest it? Are you going to go back to work? Are you going to spend it? With time off and back to work, or free to align and get your ducks in a row? Or Easter break may be seen as work if you're doing things during that time that you just don't enjoy, right? Being forced to be with the family and that kind of stuff, which some people don't like doing. So the 12 here is the 7 of Pentacles, with more birds to hang out with and feed. So someone might just see it as having to do, again, what the women tell them to do, and having to spend more money on feeding people. So the 7 of Pentacles of the Divine Feminine's heart as well, hanging out with more birds to feed, and the Page of Cups, innocence, where you never know what you're going to get. Or, the kids who always make your head spin. With lots of hanging out here, and Christing and fishing, juggling 3 while 2 are grounded or saved for later, but 12 for dinner, and welcome to the fun house, right, or the crazy house, or the labyrinth were all about the women. The 6 of the King of Wands with lovers or family and a breakthrough, or the sun comes out and 3 birds fly. And again, it's very much warmer today than it has been this week. It's actually quite warm outside today. The storm clears to reveal the 20 of the magic center, the garden, the glass house with status and fountains and steps that go up. To see bringing the water, as Juliet's balcony has blossomed in a wake-up call of release of the home and garden. The King of Wands imprisoned or released at the King of Cups and or Emperor's home, or impressed by the work that they've done, or amazed how the storm cleared so much of the dirt away, or cleaned their windows for them, or work finally done on the yard and our house, just as the King of Wands comes to visit the King of Cups, or an announcement of the home show and or public displays of people's homes as they get their homes all cleaned up and ready for spring. Or finally time to get out of the house and breathe the fresh air, that the birds are all out, perhaps someone freed their bird from their cage, or a man who obsesses about bird poop on their stuff, so instead gets a bird feeder to allow and find another way to love. Or is a father or grandfather worrying about a new child that's coming. So 1131 to 1132, which is aligning with the chaos of the group and then the 32 of the journey, the underlying energy of the golden egg and the heart chakra, the nest egg, the golden child that's ready to hatch, as spring represents the heart opening up. The hummingbird clears with high vibe wings and whispers, clearing the air around the nest as the zebra contracts to see more clearly. So the zebra actually is contrasting, right? Going against the grain, but to see more clearly that the pearls are ready to be seen. As a crack is about to happen, the moment of birth, of hatching, of opening to see what's within. So that was the key word, there's open, that birth is an opening. 1136, which is the alignment and justice of the Atlas energy, right? The map of intent. The golden hue of the Mary Magdalene and the ing, which is the water house, the bend, the swing, and the meadow, the bowl and the ink. Again, house and garden coming up in the meadow, or the wobble and the swing with ink. The first card here is the octopus, swan, horse. The skull cap of the octopus is shells of many colors. Underwater oyster and octopus make a deal as October, or the octopus here is seen as the godfather who's reaching far and wide with independent branches. The mother and father are watching over twins everywhere, as the carpenter with his hands into everything reflects the swans as the whore sees. Okay, and that's a reference to the horse and to Mary Magdalene with the carpenter. The oi or oy, stir, or human at 0 point, and mixing it up suddenly bright, the infinite life's work of 2 reflecting swans along with Mr. Ed, and again Van Gogh coming up. And what a bear! As Mama keeps a lookout by forecasting, and the octopus fades away after birth, so that the swan can reflect, of course, as the stallion or stall lion comes out and the bear appears from their cave. As the horse a lion and bear actually a lamb, once they wake up all the way, right? Because the bear takes a while to come out of hibernation. At 1152, which is then the Queen of Swords, an alignment, Lion's Gate, to bear witness down the line when the sun strongly shines. At 1153, which is then the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth, and the Knight in shining armor, aligns with the underlying energy of the Page of Cups, getting help from Hermit and the wounded warrior who may be pissed off. Or the Page of Cups who woke up late and blaming the Hermit for not waking them until they are fully awake and into their usual sovereign self again. A message of love brought to light about polarized views with the Nine of Wands, Wounded Warrior, and the Nine of Pentacles, Sovereign. The Dark Knight bowling over those trying to stop them, unable to sleep until they get to the Emperor, with Virgo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Aries here. The Emperor with the Queen of Wands, with Lovers of the World and the Magician, or love what they did to their yard, or neighbors hanging out. Or the Queen of Wands just loves the world of magic, or feels the twins or Gemini between them, and the neighbor, the world, the Divine Feminine or Pisces manifesting, or twins or Pisces and Gemini or Virgo are receiving offers for projects or from the King of Pentacles or his representative, or proposing reading cards at the beach, lake, or out front. As the King of Pentacles is happy to extend an invitation or inspired by the Queen of Pentacles, or the King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles are admiring their kids and finding their self-worth. Or, they're admiring their children, finding their self-worth and their independence. And the Empress and High Priestess, or sisters perhaps here, or the King of Pentacles with an intern, a student, or research, satisfied enough to be excited by the Queen of Pentacles and her mother or sisters or friends who are very different, moving or traveling to the Page of Swords, King of Cups, and the Queen of Swords and Knight of Cups. Or like the wind, the High Priestess is ascending to the King of Cups, or unconditional love, or the King of Cups catches wind that she's headed his way, as the King of Cups and the Queen of Swords offer love to all, or present their child, the Knight of Cups, or reveal a proposal here. So at 12:10 is the Hanging Man and Destiny, as the Devil or Temptation is waving here, or perhaps a friend, Capricorn, who honks and waves, or Batman with ball and chain, or old buddies, chums from back in the day, and an overactive mind about coming together. The Two of Cups connection of the Devil and the Fool, or Cappy and Aries, besties, freeing one from the King of Swords to get away perhaps. The underlying energy was doves and the bunnies and the man with concerns. What else does he have to offer? Has he used up all his tricks, in his bag of tricks? And now must he offer love and be the real thing? A display of wisdom, or is that a pearl? Two doves, two otters, two, whatever that is, two owls, two swans, and two cups. Need I say more? There's a lot of twos here. Perhaps the King of Swords with kids so the others can play, as the King of Swords with the Knight of Wands and King of Wands, or can't play with the King of Wands because he'll be with them, or the Knight of Wands is rushing back before the Knight of Cups gets to them, as the Knight of Pentacles goes back to work or offers help to the Queen of Cups, as the Knight of Swords Libra surprises her or has her back. Hopefully this person's not capable of stabbing her in the back at 12:20, or some kind of sibling get-together here at 12:21, which again is the Hangman and the World, or completion. So two air signs or Virgos may come together here, one with Capricorn in their chart and the other with Aries. Or free with fire sign, or two brothers, or brother to the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords as well, or Capricorn, Aries, and Libra here, or help to get justice after the Devil took advantage of the Fool, or Carpenter with Gemini or Capricorn, or bipolar, or split personality, as the owls, swans, or writers and dreamers, like in the Muppet movie song, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. And that can come up in Jungle Land as well. But the owls, the swans, and the writers and dreamers connect one to one. Again, lots of twos here. And the Emperor's fears of martyrdom, like Pilate freeing Jesus, but would the people rebel? So again, if you remember the story in Jesus Christ Superstar of, Pilate basically washing his hands of this, that it's up to Herod now, to implement what would happen with Jesus. So there's that energy that Pilate comes up as the King of Swords here, not wanting to do this to Jesus, but does he really have a choice? Because if not, wouldn't the all the people rebel at this point. And so that was the first message of the day. As I was going to Home Depot, as I landed at a red light behind 918, which is my birthday, at the street Williams Way, which was Lamont, which is where it was like a Civil War hub right there. And that came up in another way as well this week about the Civil War in Lamont. So again, I got a lot done regarding that stuff, getting stuff I needed for the yard and actually getting some good workouts the past few days. And let's see, some other energies that were coming up in between reads. Leninism, as in Lenin. So that Russian energy and communism, Leninism, is also Len-Sin came up, as well as lensing and Lamarism as well, and that reminded me of Lamont as well. So again, the Civil War is coming up again. And let's see, the cloak, the wood. HP Mason also came up, ink, which is an ink cartridge disposal. Sin came up, as well as Nemasm, which is Nemasism, which was referencing seals and raccoons. Again, raccoons are masked. Threads and yarns. To not have, to not to be present. But also came up as penis tips or mutes. Duo plural nouns came up as well, and we're referencing Navajo and Taos there. Evelyn and Esther and Constantine, and again the Russian Jews were coming up again, so there's a lot about Russian stuff that came up. And I was listening to The Blower's Daughter because it came up in the feed right there, and it's interesting this came up here because it started running in the background of my mind before I did the video. The Blower's Daughter, which again is that song at the beginning of the movie. What's the movie called? I'm blanking out. But I can't take my eyes off of you. Can't take my eyes off of you. Can't take my eyes off of you. But that's the Blower's Daughter. So that keeps running in the background today. As I was shuffling, we go into the next read, which was on April 2nd. So on the first, that was the one of the magician and the hanging man. So there's that hanging man reference to Jesus. And then on the second is the high priestess. So that can reference Mary Magdalene. And it's the 13 of death, which is the dark night of the soul and the transformation. And Max's birthday. That was the day that my daughter went to Washington, D.C. So again, that's when Curious George goes to Washington. 934 to 37 came up for this one. Oh, and this was so funny. On the way to Washington, they were behind this plate. That was really funny. And here's read number 2, message of the day. Okay, so this one starts with the journey of love at the top, and then the wild unknown animal guidebook, and then my mixed deck of Rider-Waite's at the bottom, the half deck. The one in between is the Lenormand, Reverie, and the Kipper decks combined. Okay, so I'll pull this one up so you can see a little bit better. And so this one, the card was at 934 to 37, which is the 34 of the 8 of Wands, the energetic exchange and arrows of love. The 35 is the wounded warrior. 36 is Atlas, that way to the world. And 37 then is unconditional love, the 3 keys. And the cards at the end were 1121 and 11213. And what came up in gematria for 1121 was Christmas Eve, and then I was losing my throat for the other number, 11213, which the first entry for gematria was, God did not think I would be spending another birthday all alone by myself. It is truly the death of any illusions I had that this world would ever end and that they might actually care about me. But I got, and it just ended on that word. So the underlying energy here was at 10:04, which is message received in CB language. I don't know if it's still that definition, but it was when I was growing up. The 63 of the light field and the golden egg. And again, the golden egg is that energy of the heart chakra. The 38 of the Queen of Cups, toiling and laboring, and the Queen of Swords as well coming up. And the night of the April 1st was when we had a hailstorm here. It was crazy. I thought my dining room window was going to break. But for, I love that kind of stuff, though, the power of the universe. But, we rarely get hail like that. So that was kind of cool. Of course, Teddy was scared. But that was coming up. That was like the wiping of the slate clean, like this huge windy. It was so windy prior to that. Even if the hail wasn't coming down, the wind was so powerful that night. It still would have done a lot of, sweeping away of the old branches and things like that. Fully exposed in the middle of the bridge to Hail Mary and all that jazz. The suffering and silence in the light field as the water clears the air with the golden egg, the heart chakra, and the Queen of Cups is working hard, weaving, as the Queen of Swords speaking their truth. Cleaning up, protecting the nest, heart communications before verbal presentation, or the phone company coming up here. A lot of stress on the heart as the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords get the word out. At 10:10, the two wheels of fortune, basically, or perhaps a two-wheeler. Maybe someone's learning to ride a two-wheeler for the first time. As the 23 is the underlying energy of the King of Wands, and again, this is 2023. 20 of the wake-up call to the King of Wands to learn how to balance his passions. Across the waters, she's in the cyclone and the vortex at the same time, as his light is at the end of the tunnel and is very bright. The 58 of the Four of Swords and beauty rest here. And that's actually when my daughter texted me that picture of that license plate with my name on it. The same, and it was weird because at the Van Gogh exhibit, they, the little stories they have on the different podiums to read when you go into those type of exhibits. The first thing they read in going into the exhibit started as Dear Evelyn, and that was after she had seen the license plate Evelyn D. So that was weird. We still can't figure out why it says Dear Evelyn at the beginning of the Van Gogh exhibit, but it did come up there again. And again, Evelyn means Little Eve. So 23 and 58. 58 is the Four of Swords. So that can be a rest, a break, or the 5D connection for me. The King of Wands with the 5D connect for beauty rest. The 54 of the Page of Swords, Earth Angel, with Mercurial Gemini and or Virgo pulling up the blankets, making the beds, just to get blasted again to test their stress level and breaking point. So again, before the storm, I had raked up all of the bamboo leaves out of the yard, finally, to get the yard cleaned up. And then the storm came, of course, to whip things around again to see if it's going to trigger you or not. And I didn't get triggered. It really didn't make that much of a mess. But there are definitely going to be some people who might get triggered by that after they'd done a lot of work the day before. At 10:23 is the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Wands again. And the 52 of the Queen of Swords came up. The first card of the Ancient Ones, the Queen of Swords fully open to the light of them, the Sirians, at the 4-4, which is today, Aries or Ramsgate, which is also the Lamb with the ram heart, through 8-8 of Lionsgate, which is, of course, the lion or the cat, the lion and the lamb. The Lamb of 4-4 at Ramsgate with the sweet lamb with a ram's heart, and the lion with a sweetheart. From 4-4 to 8-8, the heart to the high heart, right? 4-4 is heart to heart, and 8-8 is twin to twin, where the dancing begins. fully integrated into the high heart on both sides at 10:28, which is the destiny of the twin flames, from the fourth finger to the fourth chakra, to then the eighth chakra, which is the high heart, 4/4/8, and God's finger. Seriously. So that's that pointing finger coming in again after coming in earlier. And again, that alignment with Sirius for Lionsgate, which is coming up as the finger of God. So at 10:28, with the 52 Queen of Swords and the 19 of the Sun, the Queen of Swords, Lady Liberty, with the Lion's Heart, and Shakti come up here. And Shakti was coming up as the chakra, the Shak Ray, R-A, and the Shakti, and T-I for me is source. So really it's the same thing, right? The source and the ray, but one is the Father and one is the Son. One is the ray and one is the source point. Shocking and shaking with Ra and T. So I looked up Rati, R-A-T-I, which is the Hindu goddess of lust and passion, of pleasure, of love, of sexual passion, of union. That she is the counterpart or chief consort and assistant of Karma or Kamadeva, and who's the god of love. The constant companion and worship together, the maiden's sensuality with the power to enchant the almighty, powerful god of love. So when Shiva burns her husband, Rati's husband, to ashes, Rati's beseeching or penance leads to the promise of Kama's resurrection. Kama is reborn as Pradyumna. I'm sorry if I'm not saying some of these incorrectly, but it's okay. The son of Krishna and Rukmini. So Rati, as Mayavati, plays the critical role in upbringing of Pradyumna, who is separated from the parents at birth. She basically is the nanny lover and advisor on how to return to his parents by slaying the demon king destined to die at his hands. So later Kama, Pradyumna, accepts Rati Mayavati as his wife. So Rati is the Chaldean numerology is 8, and the Pythagorean number 3, which then the reference is the 8 and the 3 of the 38 of the Queen of Cups and Mary Magdalene, where the word Rati, R-A-T-I, is row or chain, cart or carriage. The moon and radish, considered, judged, having judged. I think, I consider, establish, or authoritative, fixed, rat and 100. And then I ended up breaking down some of the words. And Pradi is all about the electric current, the trend and movement, where Umna Zat is to multiply. So Pradi Umna came up as exponential electric current without waste, without monkeying around. And Mayavita, or Mayavati, but I was breaking it down as in May, Ava, and T, was coming up as to be strong. And Ava's grandmother, but it's also the wing and the bee, the passage through the coral reefs, water, pregnant, flourishing, ancestor, and man, human, people, person, whole opening, and the Avar language of the mountains, which is Russian. And of course Kava, which can be coffee or hollow or concave, to snow, dive, flounder, and flail, strike, snatch, toil, and scrape, and be bitter. And Vadi is also number 4, the dish, the oracle, the prophet, the seer. And Maya is illusion, or the veil. So Mayavadi can be the oracle of the veil, the knower of illusion, being strong, able with unlimited possibility to gather flowers used in modesty, the grandmother, the human, the people, the bee, the ancestors, the whole and opening, the language of the mountains. And I experienced that in the south of France, where we were doing a round holding hands around a tree, and the mountain started singing with me. The water wings through the coral reefs, pregnant, flourishing source of all that is. So the Queen of Swords and the Sun, with Shakti rays and message to self, to Lady Liberty, to remind her of who she is, Mother Nature, the 56 of her knowing in the quiet dance of the planets, that she and he walk hand in hand and don't work without each other. And one card there of 64 from the underlying energy, which started with 63, which is the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. The intense light field becomes the sensual awakening of bliss. The grail, which is the G rail, the hole, the spiral hole, and then the rail, the tunneling effect. The cine, like an MRI, like a movie, emptying oneself to allow each picture or each moment to then accumulate as one, which then becomes the movie, of course. Just like making your own book or movie in school by making a book and then doing that domino effect, or flipping the pages. And then Parvati was coming up too, who's the daughter of the mountain. And Shakti, the 5 elements of Shakti are consciousness, bliss consciousness, desire or will, action, and knowledge, which is actually the feminine aspect. That the masculine aspect is just that transcendence point. But that's transcendence, whereas the feminine Shakti energy is limitless. That she is actually the movement that expands the transcendence of that masculine point. All right, so today, again, is Ramsgate, Tuesday. And we have the full moon coming up too. I don't know if it's the 6th or the 7th, something like that. I know that May is 5/5, so it's probably the 6th. But where are we? Yeah. So the underlying energy next was at 1133, which is 11 of alignment, truth, and justice, and the Christ vibration, which is also that 7 of Wands card of standing up for oneself without getting triggered. From moth to flame, where the moth is after the bee, unable to resist the light, the moth urgently, or the mother with crocodile in wait, dialing up in the dark, the twist. As the crocodile is the croco or crocus, the quack, the saffron, the burlap, the alter ego shark that attacks in the light, the cosmic egg, the crown, the chronos, the collection awakening on the ground. As the lizard comes out, because Mike downstairs and Liz or Liza are sensitive to nesting the golden egg. The snake is protecting the egg, which evolves to lizard, who's very sensitive here to crowds because they're empathic, on their feet though, right? So this is the evolution of the snake to the lizard, where they get off the ground. They're no longer slinking along the ground. They now have arms and legs. The snake protecting the egg, who then evolves to lizard on their feet, watching the egg instead, right? Instead of the snake being wrapped around the egg, now it's able to get up on its feet and watch, knowing it's about to crack at 11:44, or leak or hatch on Easter egg, the golden one, at 11:45, which happens to be my birthday. So again, they're just linking this to the significance of Easter here at birth. The one of the tarantula and the fish and the lamb at the crossroads, the intersection with 8 legs of Dharma to be had, with fish out of the water, the red hook, the fish caught, cat got their tongue, as the lamb's on the run, targeted ram 444 today, with one card, the stingray of bliss, activated, plugged in, and turned on, the ray of source and the shock of T, the source, the power source, and 1150 of justice of the 10 of cups, and the 50 has been coming up as archangels all week, the ultimate emotional fulfillment, the underlying energy of the 32 of the journey of despair, or days pair, the pair's journey, the 8 with false persons or mask, the dance, the tango of the feminine and masculine, ladies first, as 23, King of Wands, stands up to the masses, the kids, the pets, and his own messes. With number 20, cleaning up the house. The wake-up call, the gated community, the ambassador of Buddha's temple, and the psycho house, the big house, the money pit. And there was a line from a movie that came up where the mother had said to the daughter, as she said in the movie, that the house is nothing but a prison. And then Leo and Aquarius came up. If the age is of Aquarius now, then Leo is limitless, a bottomless pit at 11:55 of Excalibur and the truth, with water, emotions, and laughter, as Leo's ego falls away, displaying their pure magnificence at 11:56, their knowing. The 5 of the treehouse, and again the 3 keys of the treehouse and the tree of life. The THR and EE of 3, the high road, and the energetic exchange are hours of love of the home. The Chez, CHEZ, which is house in French, which is the Chi of Z, which is 26. The Q and the O of the spiral, and the Q, of course, is conception, right? The womb and the sperm. And then the spiral of the 6, which is also the G of God, the whole, the tunneling spiral effect, where the F and ECT is ecto, outside or ghost, without human embodiment. The EF of the capital F, digamma, twin flame, and the FE, which is iron, and CT. The twin flame irony of the whispering bench to source court. Her leap or arc or bridge to the top dog. To the pot of gold or God, the ancient one. Where 5 in block numbers reflects exactly number 2, which also come up as the S and the Z. The Queen of Swords knocked Christ over, right? So capital N for me represents Christ. When you knock the N over, it becomes the Z. 26, which is the end of the alphabet, and 26 is also the end of the next cycle in our journey. And I've been getting the year 26 all year this year. That was very significant, a very significant point, because 27 is the Ace of Wands, which is the whole, the huge new beginning. The Queen of Swords is not knocked over Christ, right? So knocking the capital N over to be the Z, to go to sleep and get their beauty rest. So again, the Queen of Swords knocked Christ over to sleep and get their beauty rest. Their Z's of seismic proportion, the TION of the Tyon, the Tiger Lioness connection. And proportion is the pro and the poor and the Tiger Lioness connection. And the Page of Wands, which is 26. The Z is 26, the year of 26. 240, which is represented here as the Page of Cups, and 40 is 4D, or the 4th density, which we're now moving from the 3rd density into the 4th density. And the densities last a long time. So the 2 to the 6 of the spiral, the lovers, the G. 4, the D, and DC was coming up here again. The D is the 1, and then referencing the leap from point to point. And that's the divine feminine creation, the left side, because you're seeing it as a human would be. Because the 1 with the 2 parentheses is co-creation, just like the 1v1 is co-creation. So the parentheses also represent the leap of the 1 from point to point, because they're not really straight lines, but arcs. So the Q and the O come up here because number 2 looks like a Q when you write it really fast. And the O is like the 6, the spiraling of the lambda leap, which is the lamb to the father, for the divine feminine rainbow. With quality operations, QO here. The lamb ram's gate today, 4-4 leap, to the divine feminine's 8-8 rainbow gate. With the 7 of Cups synchronicities and dreams, illusions, and heaven in their eyes. Where remember the ram, the uterus and the ovaries, looks like a ram. To Lion's Gate of the mane of the lion but also the main energy of the divine feminine's ego, because of course the lion's mane, represents his ego, and the NE at the end here comes up as the capital N, which is Christ, and then capital E is one equal and congruent to the north node that's now angled to Aries and East. The AE, which is the ash, or the bright light in Pleiadian, of Sirius A, that's all light according to Elena, where Sirius B has some light at night, but not much. And then the 4 of April now going into May, and the tree, which is also the 3, representing March, April, May, 3, 4, 5 of 3D, 45D, in the synchronistic rainbow leap of birds hanging out with wise, privileged lady at 12:12, right? 2 hanging out, or two wise ones seeing new perspectives. The 12 is also the 1 and the 2 of the masculine and the feminine, both incorporating their masculine and feminine. From May to December, December of empty circle or hoop. The Taurus and Pisces with Aries missing. The power lady of Venus and the truth. And again, Crete was coming up there, and all done up. In truth, the 38 of the Queen of Cups works very hard. It does not come easy. His journey to her place and space at 12:14, the Hanging Man and the Temperance card, or Patient Angel, awaits. So at 12:14 is the 7 of the Snake in the Garden, and the 14 of the Message of Concern, or perhaps 7:14, where have comes up here as H and Avenue, and the 2 of the Rolling Stones, the 3 of the US dollar collapse, but I wasn't getting that in a negative way. It was showing me just like us collapsing within in the dark night of the soul is the same thing as the dollar rolling in on itself, to collapse in on itself in order to fold out again, like inside out, to become something new. And it's not showing, it wasn't like any like big event or anything. It was like a gradual collapsing in onto itself to then like fold inside out and become something new, like, transmutation. To rise into its strength. The Rolling Stones, which is that EM3W, or perhaps MeWe, with 2 U's, and the birds guarding co-creation. The Queen of Cups, or that Mary Magdalene energy of toiling and laboring with a toxicity in her environment, with a message of concern requiring patience. With Pisces, Cancer, and Sagittarius here, the 22 of the official person at the 5D station, and 30th Street Station was coming up because Philadelphia 30th Street Station would be where you'd catch the train to go to DC. Where AC/DC of alternating currents and direct current, or perhaps Atlantic City to DC, which are, along the shoreline, in alternating currents, the Fool's Leap as Curious George goes to Washington with Men in Black, or the man with the black hat, top hat. With 2 cards here, the 15 and the 8 of the Shadow Lovers dancing with the devil, Dr. Jekyll and Tomb, or Independent Sovereign and their dependents, with chaos and control of a love relationship, where ship was being accented here, right? The ship of relations, of love and fear. The right angle of the lambda, or lamb and father leap, of the human holy place of offering. To the twin flame, ear to hear, about being LF, or left, or left-footed. And then Van Gogh's coming up here again because it was his left ear that was cut off. From 7:14 to 8:15, and again there's that Lionsgate period, needing a partner in order to dance, must play to win. To love, you must face your shadow. To live, you must face your death. To be bored, grounding and integrating, you must face the E-tower to see if Rapunzel will let down her hair, or the feminine ego. At 12:30, which is the Hanging Man and the union, the home, the underlying energy of manifesting the Magician and the King of Cups, of JC and God, all tools and unconditional love of the leap to 37, the 3 keys, the tree keys, the tree of life, and the boomerang, where the 3 is the bird with the 7 of the boomerang, the leap to 3 keys, the gamma boomerang, and boomerang. As the wounded warriors guarding the Queen of Cups and Page of Cups, and the King of Wands, soulmates. Okay, and there's that reference of Jesus, Mary, and Sarah. As the King of Wands is giving himself time to send back a loving message to the Queen of Cups. He can't sleep or is stressed in the light field until he connects one-to-one with the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, a message of delivery as the King of Swords and higher self divide and conquer. He with the Knight of Swords back, and she with the Knight of Cups forward. Offering love to the world, the Divine Feminine or Pisces coming full circle with Justice and the Empress, or Libra and Taurus, or Sister sending love in court with the Empress satisfied and freed by the Queen of Swords, or the Queen of Hearts, off with their heads. Come fly with me. So Pan Am was coming up here as well. And Peter Pan, right? Instead of I am, Pan Am. And Catch Me If You Can. And then I was getting the movie, but that also brings up the Gingerbread Man and Alice in Wonderland. So the Hermit and the Death, and Catch Me If You Can, they're bringing up Leonardo DiCaprio because he was also in Titanic. And his name was Jack. And so Jack and Rose come up all the time because Jack and the Beanstalk, and the card with the tall rose. You know, it's like in order to come into resonance, you have to be at the same height. So Jack and the Beanstalk then brings the rose up to his level, like literally, so that they can see eye to eye. And of course, Jack and Rose are in the Titanic. I don't know if there's a rose in Catch Me If You Can, but Jack, there's a reference to Jack there. I can't remember what his name was in Catch Me If You Can. But the wise one comes up with the Hermit and Death with the Dark Knight. Again, divide and conquer is a big theme here, but not in a negative way, in a positive way, like to get things done. Within and without. The Hermit advises the Queen of Swords as the Grim Reaper bowls over all in their way to get to sovereign or to their own sovereignty. With the Page of Swords who steps up to the plate between sovereign and devil waving, or the Page of Swords child of Capricorn with a message to say hi. The Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands here, or mothers and sisters and their kids, or Capricorn temptation inspired to study with the Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands after the Queen of Swords sent a message to the Page of Swords or to them. Lovers' family, in order to gain affections of the Emperor, being offered a choice, as the Knight of Pentacles offers to the Knight of Wands to act, and the King of Pentacles is bringing the Chariot or the troops in, creating a big movement or moment there. So now we have the next message here. And this one starts with the Ascension deck, then the Animal deck, and then I mixed Lenormand, Reverie, and Kipper, and then the Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook, and then the half deck again of the Rider-Waite. I'm going to bring them up closer again so you can see. So this was done on the 2nd as well, between 9/13 and 30, which is the death or transition. The 27, 28, 29 is the Ace of Wands, 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands, and then the 4 of Wands, of course, which is the 30 and union or home. And no limit came up, as well as what are we running from. So the numbers that came up at the end of these decks was 11213 and 14646, and 46 is the the Six of Cups of the loving children, of hugging each other and giving each other flowers. And the area code 213 came up here, and so I looked that up. And yeah, the sequence 11, 12, 13 keeps coming up. So we had 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, but 11, 12, 13 had come up already, and it came up again today. So there's something significant about 11, 12, 13, which 13 is then transcending to the other side. Just like ether is the fifth. It represents the collective 1 through 4. It's not actually the fifth. It's the cumulative of all. And 13 represents that same thing, the cumulative of 1 through 12. So 11, 12, 13, and then 46, 46, and the leap to 12 and 13, and 46, 46. The leap for 6, for 6, and again, the 2 sets of Six of Cups children, which is you incorporating your own masculine and feminine loving each other in the first place before connecting with the other whose masculine and feminine are loving each other within. 1 space, 2 space, 3, and jump. And the 213 came up in Gematria as Bitcoin, Nimrod, Tamara, marriage, Nicholas, racism, the bride, Carla Kindon, and the magician, and God's code, as well as dude and I'm Batman. And then Los Angeles came up, which means the angels, as justice in LA, or justice of the angels, as patient lovers are the Six of Cups. The leap of the masculine and the feminine in transition, the leap of the Six of Cups and the Six of Cups, again, your own masculine and feminine loving each other first. The 14646 comes up in Gematria as why is it okay to mine my personal data? Now, why is it okay to mine my personal data for my private activities, such as shopping, but it isn't okay to mine terrorist activity data? Isn't national security more of a priority, and who gave anyone permission? So that was coming up. The underlying energy here is the 13 of fire, the King of Autumn, or King of Pentacles, which is 65, the 17 with the gift, the fish, and the Page of Pentacles, which is 68. Again at 10-4, which means message received. The fire to transmute, the King of Pentacles, the Gypsy Vanner horse. Compassionate, charismatic, accomplished, and grounded, where dreams come true with a gift, knocking the fish for a loop, perhaps ungrounding them, as the King of Pentacles gifts the Page of Pentacles, or child or student. At 10-10, which again is the Wheel of Fortune twice, that high vibe energy of 2, the underlying energy of the 45, Lady Nada, which is the 5 of Cups, the 23 of the King of Wands and Dolphins, the 40 of Page of Cups and Jesus, and the 26 of the Page of Wands, the gold and silver cloak of the archangels, the 43 of Kuan Yin, the 3 of Cups, and the 52 of the Queen of Swords, Mother Mary's aquamarine mantle, and Saint Germain 34 in energetic exchange with Mary Magdalene, the wounded warrior, here at 35. The 22 of the Fool and unicorns, and the 6 of the Lovers, Mahatma energy, the 13 of fire, transmutation, as the 7th ray of Mary Magdalene's higher self, Lady Nada, the high priestess in the temple of love of Atlantis. To use your healing abilities, ladies, the aquamarine wisdom of the dolphins and the angels of Atlantis are connecting with you now to purify water with Jesus's unconditional love, cloaked in balance and harmony. Hollow earth and 7th heaven, the dolphin and angel sonics, expect miracles of the 12th ray of the pink divine feminine or Kuan Yin energy, Mother Mary's aqua and Saint Germain violet flame, and miracles with Mary Magdalene's 6th ray and Marseille and Buttercup yellow, maintaining your truth and integrity in the face of being judged. And the 22 of the unicorns, granting wishes to those with pure hearts. The 6 of Mahatma, the Christ Buddha light, and 2 rays of the collective of golden white energy available to draw into the chakra system now, leaving footsteps everywhere of that golden white light and Archangel Gabriel, who helps to eat the right foods so that you can maintain your 5D glow and attract others to inspire. So healing is so significant here of the King of Wands with the Page of Cups and Page of Wands, who join with the Queen of Swords in energetic exchange with the Wounded Warrior, which EE and WW are part of the Rolling Stone, on the Fool's journey of the lover's transition, perhaps east and west. With the 50, and that can represent the horizontal exchange or the horizon. The 50 of Archangel retreats, and again, for the ultimate emotional fulfillment, and the 42 of Lord Kamika, Metatron's, so to speak, partner of the Golden Age. The co-hand of the 8th ray on a quest for enlightenment with the 2 of Cups and the 8 of the Huna prayer. So if you haven't done the Huna prayer in a long time, you might want to try that today. With Masters and Angels here at 1046, and there's that 46 again of the children loving each other. One card of the 29, the Intergalactic Council, to visit them today. Be present with your gifts and emotional fulfillment. Remember, no limit, and what are we running from? The underlying energy of the 10 of Summer here at 1047, which is the Wheel of Fortune and Destiny, and the 47 of choices and synchronicities and feeling confused or illusions and heaven in your eyes. The underlying energy of the 10 of Summer and the prairie dogs of love and family. And I noticed in the movie I was watching, there was a store with E.C. Zane on it. Ekzane, E-C-Z-A-N-E. Which it caught my eye because my initials are E.C. Stainthorpe's my married name. So, and again, that zaniness comes up. St. Croix also came up, as well as oh, that was coming up with Evelyn at the Van Gogh exhibit. Why did it start out as Dear Evelyn? So 2 things came up. As far as when it said Dear Evelyn, and one of them was, there's another artist, an English artist named Evelyn. I don't know if Van Gogh knew her, but they lived at the same time. And then the woman who was involved with this presentation of his exhibits, I guess, and her son Ian was the creator of James Bond. That came up as well. So this card here with the prairie dogs is, again, enjoying that love of family here. And in the picture here, it depicts, 2 parents and 4 kids. And the 8 of Autumn of the parrot, of learning all you can as a student. The 4 of Summer of the tortoise, who may be distracted by their responsibilities and not seeing their gifts, to be open to investigating opportunities. With the 9 of Spring, gazelle's rewards that are worth protecting. Annoying little challenges may pop up, but of course there's no worries. As usual, you've always gotten through them. As the King of Pentacles, everything's turning out great. So at 1053, that high vibe messenger of truth, Knight of Swords, with the King of Spring and the Katanga lion, with the leadership role to stay focused on the big picture. With the 5 of Summer and the dragonfly, positive to rise up, right? To remain positive, to rise and be lighter because God loves you. The 7 of Winter of the magpie. And to be careful with your resources, because magpies love sparkly things, so there may be little critters, or perhaps a child, or literally an animal may be stealing little sparkly things from you. Maybe there's some things that have been missing, and this is telling you that. But also it's telling you to be careful to note what others may be doing behind your back at this time. So the exact quote in the Van Gogh exhibit as it started said, "Dear Evelyn, look at these paintings." And there was a reference to about how 2 people can come together in order to shape. the King of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Seven of Swords came together here with the King of Pentacles in the underlying energy as two kings are grieving what was stolen from them. The Lovers came up as flamingos, so that could be two men there. And the Six with three cards, the 21 of the World, the Three of Pentacles of co-creation, and the Queen of Pentacles, and the Shetland sheepdog, the miniature poodle, and the Belgian hare here, which was so cute because the three cards together looked like the rabbit was the queen with her kids watching a dog show with the miniature poodle and the Shetland sheepdog, where the miniature poodle won, she had first prize, and then the sheepdog got honorable mention. It was so cute. So the queen bunny and her two kids watching the dog show where the poodle got first and the sheepdog honorable mention. Congratulations, use your talents, follow advice precisely for practical and creative use, and focus on only positive and completion at work of the Queen of Pentacles. That other painter with Van Gogh is Evelyn de Morgan, and Morgan's been coming up, that name has been coming up all week as well. So, and then 1881 came up again here with Evelyn de Morgan and her painting, The Angel of Death. So at 1138, again the 38 of the Queen of Cups and Mary Magdalene, and the 11 of alignment, and 38's written that way, 38/11. The underlying energy of the 29 of the loving lady and truth, the 5 of the family tree, 7 of cups, and the 12 of the privileged lady, the 14 of the fox, 9 of wands, or the wounded warrior, and the 17 of the gift, where the loving lady's at home with the privileged lady and the dog, or Pisces and Sag, receiving a dream gift. The 21 of the 8 of wands mountain, the buck gifts to her, like he would move mountains for her. The 19 of the institution of peace or the asylum. And it was so cute because it was coming up as the energy like Teddy, my daughter's doggy, would move mountains for her. He'd go to any extremes because he loves her so much. The 18 of the little girl and the stars. The world, the sun, and the moon coming together here. What a powerful trio, right? The world, the sun, and the moon. The sun in the mountains, and the little girl in her room with bunny or teddy bear, with lovers in a group of wise birds, or shadowing them. With Aquarius in the underlying energies, and then Pisces, Leo, Cancer, Capricorn, and Gemini here. The 17 of nesting the dream. With 1932 and 22, a romantic journey, or fool, official, or Leo, Cancer, fool, or death here. And the next energies of the underlying energy of 1146 and the inner children, or outer children, the raccoon may be sad or missing lamb, plugged into fish, who may be ungrounded, as the ray of angels and saints and fish, or lambda leap, are activated here, with rocky raccoon and 4/4 rams to 4/9 fish in Aries for Easter, Esther, and then that this transition was going in my in the same way, was playing out like the domino effect in my Instagram picture that I posted. That Easter really is the same thing as Esther, because EST is East in French. And so they both are the same thing, basically. Easter and Esther. It's just the E and S. They're soft E and hard E. But Esther is also translated to Evelyn from Israeli to American. And then Evelyn is also known as Ava. So, and again, that's and Evelyn is a very French name. It's used as a masculine name in France, though, as well. So again, there's this transition between the masculine and the feminine. At 1149 is the cosmic egg, the spider, and the sea serpent. The collective awake to the rainbow grid, with spider at the quantum entanglement of the solar plexus, with confidence, with the seal broken, praying daily for collection, or collective, or sparkling things. The little girl prayer for her King of Cups to come, with unconditional love. Or you may find all of your missing items. Perhaps a little critter was hoarding them. With one card here at the end, which is the frog in the rain, right? The frog is trying to become the prince. The raccoon with a mask on, who's sad in the corner, not even eating their trash. Longing for bee and butterfly, carpenter and buttercup yellow, to grow wings and fly, while the hummingbird is clearing and whispering in their ear. The fishes out of water, cause Mike is the Spider-Man. And so the cosmic egg and the sea serpent were coming up here, and it was coming up as because Mike is the Spider-Man, or the Spidey friend. And the sea serpent is the concealing of breath. It's coming up as sea sir, like Mr. See, sir, pant or breathe and conceal. The frog longing for bees and butterflies to come, along with the birds and the bees. At 12:05, which is the hanging man and the freedom or change, the expansion of the Hierophant, the underlying energy of the King of Swords, who connects with the Fool to open their heart. The King of Swords sets the Queen of Swords free, but neither are addressing it. The Queen of Swords speaks to the Emperor about his advice or advisor, or who does the Emperor listen to? The Queen of Swords or Hermit, or are they the same person? The Dark Knight receives a choice, the World or Wand, with Atlas or passion and creativity, as the King of Wands extends a little love, along with the Queen of Cups, or her love speaks through him as the King of Pentacles and Sovereign, who can't sleep until the Knight of Cups offers love to satisfy lover, Queen of Pentacles, with the Empress or Mother. Or the King of Pentacles is now single and can't wait to offer love and bring their wish to lover, Queen of Pentacles, while the Empress receives the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, who works for the devil, or Capricorn wounded warrior who's defensive or guarding their sister. As Pisces or Virgo or High Priestess here, or High Priestess who's defensive, Capricorn, or Devil's Testimony who's swearing in. As the High Priestess sister, Pisces or Virgo, is with Page of Wands and Page of Pentacles, to think about or inspired to study or go back to school. Or the wounded warrior is excited and the High Priestess is looking to stretch $1, or High Priestess is trying to keep their kids away from that devil. As the Knight of Wands to Taurus and Knight of Pentacles to Capricorn, or kids divide and conquer between them, as Saggy or Fire and or Virgo, trying not to pay attention to the devil's business. So again, it's like not feeding into that collective 3D, lower energy. At 12:21, making offers too good to refuse, like the Godfather. So at 12:23, again, the King of Wands, with Justice the World and the King of Cups, there's an opportunity for Libra, Pisces, or Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, and unconditional love, or Libra, Page of Pentacles, and Pisces, King of Cups, or Earth and Water come full circle, as the Knight of Swords rushes in and the Queen of Wands washing the Magician, but it's the Queen of Wands watches the Magician, or Gemini and or Virgo, Knight of Swords and Page of Swords, who send back messages to be loving each other in a bold move to travel or ascend. As the snake and the spider have this all wrapped up, leaving an opening for the frog to still get in with just a hop. So I woke up the next morning to some psoas stretches. So you might want to check that out. The psoas muscles are hard to get to, and they store all of your fears from when you were a baby and you couldn't do things for yourself yet. So if you've never released your psoas muscles, you might want to look online for some videos about that, because 3 came up on the feed, and I actually did some stretches that morning. It was really cool the first time I did psoas release, and that video I originally used I can't find anymore, otherwise I'd give it to you. But literally after taxing your psoas muscles, you would just lay down on your back on the ground with your knees bent, and the shakes would just come out in your legs for like 20-30 minutes until it was all done releasing itself. So that was pretty cool. So this next message here is this one here. It starts with the Journey of Love, and then Nature's Whispers, the Shaman Dreams, the Metatron deck, and at the bottom the half deck of Rider-Waite with just the characters. So up close so you can see them a little bit better. There we go. So this one was April 3rd, yesterday. And yesterday was the 3 of the Empress and added to the 14-5 of Temperance. So the patience of the Empress perhaps being tested. And again, we have tax season right now leading up to 4/15. And Matthew is coming up right now with 4/15. That was the Matthew in the Bible was referenced as the tax collector. The snake and the spider have all this wrapped up here as the opening for the frog to still get in with just a hop. As these were dealt at 8:50 to 9:32 actually, with 8:50, 51, 52, 22, and 32. The 50 is the 10 of Cups, and then the King and Queen of Swords, and then the 22 is the Fool, and 32 is the Journey, or the Journeyman. And the cards at the end of these decks were all ones, so 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, but also came up as 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 3. So there's that 11, 12, 13 again, but now they're in a loop formation from 12 down to 11, back up to 13. The Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine co-create 3. The leap to the Queen to co-create flying away. The underlying energy started out with the numbers 68, 34, 12, 19, and 2. With the Page of Pentacles, the energetic exchange, the Arrows of Love, the Hanging Man, and the Sun with the High Priestess. And again, that's a reference again to Jesus and Mary Magdalene. The student of energetic exchange with the Hanging Man and the Sun, with Higher Self and the Page of Pentacles hanging out, or with JC and Mary Magdalene. To drop into your heart and be vulnerable. The little girl floating on the dried leaf with the pink moon, which the pink moon coming up was really funny because driving home from Canada, when you take pictures through the windshield, since it's tinted, the sun actually comes up as pink. So here in the picture in the card, she's floating on a dried leaf in the pink moon, leaving 9 candles behind, which references the wounded warrior, in the dragon's hoard, protecting in the future in the greens, blues, and purples as the fire dragon with strength of the sun in red, orange, yellow, curled up as in the womb within the pyramid or pyramid, which is the fire in the belly, without their wings spread. With Virgo, Pisces, and Leo here, mother and daughter's dragon counterpart with the little girl and the dragon's hoard, and the saint with the warrior dragon paint. At 9:43, which is the Hermit and the 3 of Cups have coming together, and there could be a Scorpio energy there too, with the underlying energy that God speaks. The Emperor's month or mouth. It's really coming up as the Emperor. The whole month belongs to the Emperor here with April. And the Empress is the day, right? So it was April 3rd, which is bringing up the Emperor and the Empress, the month and the day. The 31 of the 5 of Wands of the Christ flame on the cross, right? The wounded Christ, right? The one suffering on the cross. And the 24 of the Queen of Wands Omega of the Mary Magdalene, the spaces between the words or worlds. 31 and 24 were the cards, equals 55 of the whole truth, Excalibur, and she unseen in the spaces between. But the 2, which equals 55, the whole truth. The 26 of the Page of Wands and the Guardian of the Soul family is the child, the lineage. The 68 of the Page of Pentacles, the student of dropping into the heart. From 6 to 8, you must touch 9 of compassion and the one and the all for the 698 pod to happen. The conflict of father until the mother and child come along to teach him to drop into his heart. We're 6 days to Easter from yesterday, today is 5, and April 9th, 2023, releasing the cross, the crows suffering in silence. Or that could be the crow's sister for somebody. That might be a specific message. At 9:50 is the Hermit and the 10 of Cups, the Archangels, the one and the all and the Archangels. The 43 of the bride who offers herself within the chaos, wondering where he is. As the 37 of the King of Cups, so again I said with 43 came up Scorpio, so that King of Cups could be a Scorpio. The 37 of unconditional love of fire and ice, with Christ clearing and clearly drawing boundaries, being neutral in the vortex amidst the red and blue polarities, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel as the Page of Pentacles comes together with the King of Cups. Clearing or learning from the Master, or that energy of God coming through to the Sun, to the 47 to soften. It's like a message to the masculine to soften to their synchronicities and heaven in their eyes in order to align with the feminine. So it's like Father having a little heart-to-heart talk with the Sun as the light comes through. Because you're thinking that the light coming through is the Sun, but it's not. It's the Father coming through to Christ in the vortex to give a little bit of a teaching lesson to the masculine from the Father. And SE usually comes up as, southeast, but it's the sudden event was coming up as source energy today. So the CCC comes up as the letter C, the ocean C, and the I's C as in SEE, and then the SE of sudden events, and SI, of course, of yes or if, but now is source energy as well. And what dreams will come at 9:54, the Hermit and the Englishman, or the Page of Swords, which is mercurial energy of Gemini and Virgo, and the 69 of the 698 pod, with the Ace of Pentacles and contemplation, as the Page of Pentacles offers their coin, a start, a token, an invite, an opportunity to learn something new. The underlying energy of the 25 at 9:56, which is the Two of Swords, of the Knight of Wands, who's here to keep your dreams alive, the 20 of the wake up to higher ground, and the blue baby, which can reference Pleiadian, sent wishes to the little fairy girl's roses. So there's that energy again of Jack and the Beanstalk and the great rose, the rising of the feminine, perhaps growing higher or bigger than usual to match Jack's beanstalk, the shepherd of the baby fairy in the nook of the tree, and the 13 of transition to renewal of peace, a purple flower at the base of the tree, which now my tree up front that always reminds me of my mother in a funny way, has all these little purple flowers around it right now, and it looks like my mother with her legs up in the air, like she's birthing. And so they always show me this little nook in the tree because it looks exactly like the picture in the card. So here's the purple flower at the base of the tree, and the frog, the squirrel, the mice, and the birds, the chipmunks, the hedgehog, the snails coming to see. A gift in the nook of the tree of or by the purple flowers. And 2013 came up there, I'm not sure why. I think 2013 was the transition year, right? Because after 2012. So 2013 was the actual transition. And then Q and B came up here with 2 and 13, where Q is the queen, QB is coming up as the queen bee, where both have double E's, with the space between. As the 9 comes in for the perfect 698, setting of the sun, the 9 comes in, the Hermit, the queen bee with space between, as the 9 comes in for perfect 698 pod, in the setting of the sun breaking through the clouds, right? That perfect setting of drawing the sun breaking through the clouds over the 2 mountains with a valley between, and the French trees, those skinny trees that don't grow too high, at 10:04, again, message received. And I was guided to go back and listen to a session of mine where I did a past life regression, and I talked about the French trees, that they were on the ships out in space, and they were learning how to use these French trees because they're very strong and small enough to deal with, to help humans, be places other than Earth. But those French trees were coming up. So message received in the 34 of energetic exchange and the arrows of love and vulnerability as the little ones sleep. The little fairy here to herd the sheep and watch vulnerable ones while they sleep. at 10:06, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers of the family. With Sagittarius, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Virgo, the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands and the Hermit coming up there at 10:08, which is the 10 and the 8 of Chai, Chai. And 10:8 always came up for me as a special day, and I never knew why. And my family has a Jewish heritage, but I wasn't raised religiously, so I didn't know anything about the Chai, which is from the 10th and 8th Hebrew letters, becoming the 18, which is why 18 is a significant number, because it means, that essence of life. With 44, 10, and 48, seeking beauty to open your heart to hope and happiness. With Esther Williams blowing out the candles of 3 and 8, of the Queen of Cups, of 44, life lessons, of Hercules, which means her harvest, of the fourth finger to the fourth chakra, to grounding, integrating, and mastering, or the GIM, Jim, and God, I am, and co-creation, and adding the Y in the middle, or V to the 1 on the top, at the gym to co-create with source energy, SE, or sudden event. The 4/4/8 of the 2 hearts to the 8th chakra, which is the high heart, in the dance after resting in northern lights and the canals of Venice, or nights in Venice, with beautiful arches and dear ones seeking your attention, unable to resist your glow. Or I was getting something else. With beautiful arches and dear ones seeking your attention, unable to resist your... I'm getting arches again. So they're saying arches again. It's like someone admiring the arches of your feet, like holding your feet. Sleeping Beauty and Destined Swan Love. Seashells, the letter seashells by the SE shore, which can be Southeast Shore. And then Sure, Swan Lake, wild and free in her Aquarius hair, the divine feminine's crown in rainbow colors, feeling the ocean breeze, the bliss of an open heart, walking away within as the crowds, birds, and butterflies flock to the shore, her secret garden at 10:19, the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun. At Ramsgate 4/4 and Bliss through 4/8, after well rested from March to April, with 2 cards at the end here at 10:21, the Wheel of Fortune and the World, or completion. With the 18 of the leap to 8, 4 new experiences and possibilities. She, night in the garden of butterfly and the round table, in the purple moon after the pink sun. Again, that's that energy of the feminine gaining her power as the masculine softens to the pink. The 49 of heightening your vitality with self-love, your mandala, your blueprint. And have you seen your mandala in your meditation? And what color is it? To feel it in your left hand, your magic ball to get your wish or bring more color into your life. And remember how important your hair is, because your hairs are etheric connectors. And again, the feminine's ego is her crown, it's her hair, it's her mane, because it's very important to her connection. At 10:25, the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Wands, of the underlying energy of the 55, the farther gate, the crack in the mountain with 2 sources of light, one from the sky in phased array, and one from the mountain across the way, with vacuum, airlock, and sudden empty well, where it's time to replenish at the bottom of the barrel, being called out of the cave in the 22 Fools' Embrace, transmuting the pain at 10:32, destined to finish the race of the journey. Over the falls in a barrel, superfly in child's pose for cannonball run at the speed of light. Someone's jumping into a body in a sudden leap of faith, and Metatron may have something to do with this here. With the 55 leaping in a tower event to the 22, which remember in block letters, 55 reflects the 22. But the 55 comes up as like a 2D energy. Because 44 comes up as the 3D for the 33 bridge. So 55 is like the Earth, leaping to the 22 station, which is 5D. The 55 reflecting the 22, coming out of the ground and in from the sky, from the 5D station. That Earth, Terra, is one of those destinations. So I always talk about how the 5D station, after crossing the 33 bridge to the 22 station, like 30th Street Station in Philadelphia, is a leap-off point to all directions after that. So you just need to get to 5D, and then you can leap any dimension you want. However, they're bringing up the fact that just because you're leaping off to any destination doesn't mean you can't leap to Earth. That is one of those destinations, and they're making that a clear point right here. In from the sky, so coming up from the ground and in from the sky to the 5D station, that Earth, Terra, is one of those destinations. From orange sphere, or sherbet, which sherbet comes up as she, our bee root. So she's coming up as the queen bee, and of course the carpenter bee references Jesus. She is our bee path. She is our carpenter path, our Jesus, Mary, Magdalene path. So the orange sphere, which orange references Metatron, but it also references Jupiter's moon, orange, and it can reference Venus as well. And Venus came up today. So today it references Venus. From orange sphere, or Venus, or sherbet, she, our bee path, as the 46 children who love each other. The root girl comes to the rescue, and the cards were so cool here. Let me see if they're still up in the way they were, because I want to show you these, how they came out. Because they're all like in a ball. Let's see if I can catch. Yeah, look at this. So the way the cards came out, let's see if there was another one. Hold on. Like this. I think there was four before. Well, anyway. So the cards have come out like this. And here's like that bottom of the barrel energy. And again, the key from the cave, coming out of the cave, where two suns are coming in. Right? Because one's like the light at the end of the tunnel, and the other one is the sun spraying in with the truth and the sudden event. And now look, this is like that superfly energy in child's pose in the orange sphere, jumping into the human body, which is not an easy thing to do. Into the root girl, the disowned self, the human self who no longer knows their love energy in their higher aspect. And again, the veil, repairing the veil of forgiveness, and having to do that, and not seeing each other, not being there for each other. And there's that 46 and the 22 of the Fool's Journey. So that was really cool the way those cards came up together. That's the Shaman Dreams deck. So the root girl that I just showed you, such a cute little girl in that tree stump, comes to the rescue from superfly and tree root. Not so easy to transfer or transplant. They need extra attention after that. The disowned self, or sudden leap and hurt themselves, or perhaps somebody fell on the stairs. The tree stump, oh, and it was funny too, because I put a barrel on the tree stump in my yard yesterday, and it literally was, coming up in the card pictures. And twin trees were coming up as well. At 10:42, so you may get like an unexpected, weird, miraculous type of thing, like a tree that doesn't grow in your area grows, or twin trees come up all of a sudden. Perhaps a tree that died now splits into two offshoots and becomes a twin tree instead. Twin tree. Twin tree. Twin tree sounds like wintry. Twin tree. So it could be an evergreen. Because I just told you about the evergreens, like the skinny French trees. It's a type of evergreen. So at 10:42 is the Wheel of Fortune and the Two of Cups. The 45, so they want me to expand on the evergreen tree that I saw in my past life regression. As far as, humans being able to deal with I saw them in my past life regression creating these trees or keeping them in space so that humans could, they're finding a way to use it so that humans won't have a problem, breathing other air, because it's obviously not energy that humans can normally handle. And so what they want me to tell you about that, it's the same principle as the olive trees that grow in the desert, because they're not supposed to grow there. They become extra potent. And the same thing with the evergreens, the big evergreen trees in northern Canada. They become extra potent in their pine energy, or the pine trees, evergreens. And the same thing, they're talking about these French evergreens are very strong. So obviously they're the same type of thing. So we'll get there's something in them that will be very useful for us in its potency. So the 45 of the 5 of Cups, reaping the veil here of purging with forgiveness, weaving the pages back together, their story, their fairy tale, with a bow at the end, not knotted, with the freedom to expand further if you so choose, with 2 planes of existence tied together with binding, the 4 and the 5, as the 4 elements become ether. What was once 4 now becomes 1, which is that 5th expression. The ether of AE, which is the ash or bright light in Pleiadian, and the 3rd, THER, which is also, I can't explain the letters because it's, symbols. But if you look up THER, you'll see this other word to look up, and it's not spelled THER, it's symbols. But it means wild beast, especially the lion or sphinx. So that was coming up as very significant here. So the ash, which is the bright light of the wild beast, especially the lion or the sphinx. The tie-on connection of the tiger lioness. Of tar, to twist, kelp, again that energy of seaweed, to cross over. And again, that seaweed always comes up around the Venice waters and the bridging from Spain to Africa. So that the kelp, the seaweed, all of those kind of energies are coming up as, very nutritional, obviously, but there's going to be something very significant about those plants that we'll use in the future. So the bright light of the lion sphinx, the tie-on, the tiger lioness, to twist, kelp, to cross over, to be the mighty ram tough, these there, and to sharpen, which makes you less dull. I'm just getting Jack makes Jack not such a dull boy. And again, that's the sharpness is of the light that's coming in because it's getting stronger. It's very difficult for us to handle fully exposed. And especially for those people waking up who don't understand what it is. But again, it's ram tough, mighty ram tough, these and there, to sharpen and make, right, Jack, less dull. The bright light sharpens to the nth degree urgently. So again, there could be a flash of light that comes in, but it may not be of the intensity where it's going to destroy the planet or anything. It's just going to be tough on us receiving this light. And I was getting the messages too of like, our guides are kicking our butts if we're not doing what they want us to do, if we're not listening to their guidance. So it's kind of like this last-ditch effort to trigger everyone to push them in the right direction. The bright light sharpens to the nth degree urgently. The 35 of the wounded warrior, the lost compass, getting back to their integrity, to discern, and CERN may have something to do with the weather these days too, and other things going on, at the 11th hour, one-to-one connecting in 4 directions, simulcast, northeast or NE, but E is the most blinding, weaving the back of the hands of time, weaving back the hands of time, and source me was coming up, so source your time. Drop, tuck, and roll in child's pose. And again, if you're feeling the stress of it, drop, tuck, and roll in child's pose, just like in the pictures I showed you. In the fairy dragon tail, bring the tail overhead, heads or tails, with the 12 of the hanging man as the planes merge, articulating forgiveness, 4 losing their way as they hit 4 directions all at the same time, as 5th lands at 11 to 11. Okay, so there's that 11-11 connection. So 12 is referencing here, so they're telling us what the 11, 12, 13 is. I swear the 13 just came up. Hold on. So the 12 is as the planes merge, right? The 3D and 5D planes are doing their final merge, articulating forgiveness for losing their way as they hit 4 directions all at the same time, 4 times 3, which is 12, as the 5th, or ether, lands at 11 to 11, at the 11th hour, as the wounded warrior's story ends, the end of the tale. Out of the cave and into the Sphinx's lair, wise with new perspectives and a test of strength, at 11:04, the alignment of the 4, of the cumulative, the lambda leap. The 64 of the woodwives who adapt after being a little offshoot or stump, which I already brought up, the offshoots of the twins, like a tree that was dead becomes 2 offshoots. That the woodwives are in this picture, they're depicted as the offshoots of the trunk. They're more adaptable and flexible than the trunk of the tree, who's bigger, and stronger. After being a little offshoot stump, they actually grow through and beyond that, adapting to bliss now that the worst is over. The 41 of the Ace of Cups and the Moon Maiden with new beginnings are coming out of it. This year, Easter is the rising of the Divine Feminine, right? Normally, Easter is the rising of Jesus. But this year is the rising of the Divine Feminine, the blissful Holy Grail, after safekeeping, adapting, and strengthening, the carpenter's wives, or Hercules, her harvest, and the 5 of ether closing the door to complete the old cycle in change. The 42 of the 2 of Cups, and this was all at 11:11 now. Hercules is her and a letter Q, and then LES, which means lessons, forest, the blind side. The 2 of Cups netcaster with freedom for 2, where preparations then come to fruition. Her harvest that she may be blindsided by, right? The lessons that she's learned, the forest that Red Riding Hood went through to get through to grandmother's side, or Ava, the blind side. And then my great-granddaughter who passed last year as a baby, her name was Ava. And I keep getting information that she was very significant in all this. The 2 of Cups netcaster and the freedom for 2, and preparations come to fruition. As the netcaster at 11:12, and I told you 11, 12, 13 is significant here, as the netcaster comes up with the newscaster. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match, buy me a buy, catch me a catch. As 1 and 5 come up with the masculine, the root chakra and the throat chakra. At 11:14 of alignment of the angel, the temperance card, the higher love, the underlying energy of the 51, King of Swords, and white of purity and innocence, and the 15, which reflects 51, as the clarity to go within, of diamond wings and diamond light at the crown, spraying all around. The 47 of the heart to the crown, of blessings and thanks, of the heart wings and the crown wings, which references Mercury, for heaven on earth, and dreams to come true with synchronicities, and thanksgiving every day, which is TG, also thank God every day, as the Divine Masculine has been focusing on clearing the root and the throat. They're clearing food and words, as the 1 of yellow for bee and buttercup, joy and happiness, as the dragon comes in to burn through the tail, and the tail with pyramid or pyramid, the fire in their belly, as the Sphinx rises with the phoenix. And also I'm getting too, I posted the dragon fairy tale. It was a little, a couple minute video I did, but you're being guided to watch that again. The dragon fairy tale is you will feel chills watching that clip. So it's bringing through some energies you may need to feel. So yeah, it's not too far back. You might have to go back a page or two. And It's a cloud picture, and I'm just trying to think of the tag so that you can identify it. It has some of the pictures are outlined in pink, I think. But it's on my Instagram too. It's called the Dragon Fairy Tale. I think it's Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine Dragon Fairy Tale, the Twin Flame Dragon Fairy Tale. Yeah, so if you have time, go back and look at it. It's just a couple minute video, but it's really beautiful energies, and you have to watch it, and there's so many different pictures in the same picture. It's one picture of clouds, and it has like 6 different pictures in it, but it all unfolded into this beautiful little story. So again, the one of the yellow for Bee and Buttercup, their joy and happiness, as the dragon comes in to burn through the tail with their fire in the belly, as the Sphinx rises with the phoenix. The phi lion, or the feline, is the phi lion, PHI, which is that expansion and contraction are reflecting in the middle. The feline, or phi lion, which is that Sphinx energy of Sophia, and then the phoenix as the foe, zealous ghost, the shield of the elephant, or 1X. The Enix energy of NAE, which came up as born or ascended, gave birth, struggled, and climbed, the free bird. So one comes up as the oh, by the way, the U, which is a type of evergreen, also comes up under ENI as part of the Enix and Phoenix. The archery bow also comes up with that as well. The 2, the house, where the portion, U also means the portion that each reaper takes at harvest, referencing her harvest. And Nix, of course, means nothing, like snow, white hair comes up, my eyes, and nothing. Fee, fi, fo, fum, of the feline and the free bird. So it's coming up, the Sphinx and the Phoenix are coming up as the feline and the free bird. One small, or I smell blood, the fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. The 12 of the little dragon and the 19 of the big dragon, where the little dragon of the 12 is the wise one, perhaps in the loony bin, referencing the moon of the feminine, or the daughter, and the son of the 19 and the big dragon, both hung, as the 12 is the hanging man, and the 19 is the sun that hangs in the sky. The moon and the sun, the cold of lunacy and the hot of the burn, both screwed in polarized ways, with cold eyes ways, at 1040. The justice of the 40, which is funny because my cloud pictures from yesterday had so many eyes in them. Justice and the 40 of the Page of Cups, the 53 of the Knight of Swords, and codependent key to freedom. After splitting in half, weaving top down, back together again, with space between, locked at the root, and key just waiting to be found, the 41 of the Ace of Cups, turning and reflecting the pink willows around, and evergreen. So willows is coming up as the will of the masculine and the owls, and the feminine coming up as evergreen at the horizon line. So there's that reference of Mary Magdalene again with the whore, and her eyes on the line, which is the leap. As above, so below, her eyes on me, tree to tree, treat re, which is a shaman, American Native Indian energy. From side to side and up and down, the 17 of conquering fears for dreams to come, allowing the change, helping each other along, with one card, number 9, of action and movement needed, running with the shadow and Big Bird, again referencing the Sphinx and the Phoenix. At 1147, the alignment with your dreams and heaven in your eyes, synchronicities, the underlying energy of the Lovers and the Queen of Pentacles, she and Gabriel's manifestation, source direct, as the Page of Wands and Page of Pentacles invite the King of Swords to the child's party or to connect with sweetheart, the Queen of Cups' world, the neighborhood, divine feminine or Pisces, independent with offers from the Magician, or manifesting with the Queen of Swords, Gemini or Virgo, speaking to the Emperor, who's stressed out or can't sleep, until they drive to see the Hermit, Temptation, or to wave hello, or to Cancer, Virgo, Capricorn, or have car looked at. But the Devil's there, and the Wounded Warrior, High Priestess, or Wounded Warrior and High Priestess or Sister, having none of it here, not with the Devil anyway, or the Wounded Warrior guarding their sister, or Virgo and Pisces or High Priestess from the Devil, the Ball and Chain, or watching for their car at 11:59, which is the 11th hour. So the underlying energy of the High Priestess and the Empress with the Knight of Wands and Knight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, right at 12 midnight there. Was that midnight or afternoon? I guess that was afternoon. So right at 12 was the quiet High Priestess and the Empress with tree, right? The family tree. She's the one with the legacy. As a FedEx parked across the street, facing south at 12:01, with Pisces or High Priestess sleeping or quiet, and Empress up watching, the Knight of Wands rush back, and the Knight of Pentacles move forward, or package delivered, express. Knight of Pentacles to King of Pentacles, who may be looking the other way. You know, pretending like they don't notice. So at 12:49, the King of Cups, Knight, and Knight of Swords receiving a message or delivery as the Queen of Wands and Dark Knight, or death between the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, as he messages to step up, with the Justice of the Page of Cups or Innocent, or Scorpio and Libra connecting, or the Page of Cups and the King of Wands and Page of Swords, or Queen of Wands and King of Wands discussing the Page of Cups and Knight of Cups freedom, or their summer plans for the kids. Perhaps Libra and Aries after the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles divide and conquer, with the Empress and the King of Pentacles, or holiday visits. Perhaps Sag and Taurus and Virgo here first, and then the King of Cups to the Page of Cups and the Queen of Wands between. So again, people planning, how many stops they have to make. Perhaps in court with justice of visitation or wrongful death, or Easter celebration after a death in the family or separation, or again, just Easter and Jesus Christ, of the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. Perhaps the Queen of Wands is attacking the King of Cups or blaming them, and then the King of Wands tags her to remember her past as justice is served for the Page of Cups to connect with the Knight of Cups, or Page of Cups setting the King of Wands and Page of Swords free. And I was just getting the free library again too. And Libra to Aries getting their wish, or bliss of kids just being home and parents appreciating that. All right, so now we have read number 4 here, which is a quick one. It's just a quick one from last night. And this one is with the top cards aren't part of the read. That was part of the big read on the table. But just the Rider-Waite cards there. That was part of this. And this is the main page here. Is this the one I just showed you? Yeah, I think so. Oh, it is the last one. Okay, so this is the last one. That was part of the last one. So this is the 5th one, and the top is the mixed deck of Lenormand, Reverie, and Kipper, and then the Wild Animal Guidebook, and then the half deck of Rider-Waite. Okay, so this is a quick one. So this was done last night at 11:08, 9, and 10 p.m. with the cards at the end of the decks 112 and 158, which you can look them up if you'd like to. The first entries for 112 was Libra, Book, and Sick. And again, Libra can reference library or open, or cleared. Anyway, Libra, Book, and Sick, and then 158 came up in Gematria as Goat, Mohammed, and Hot. And there's the reference of the goat who climbs the mountain, Mohammed, right, who brings the mountain, and then hot, of someone who climbs the mountain, gets very hot. Again, this reference of 11 to 12, and then the leap to 5-8, which is the 5D connection, the Four of Swords 5D connect, and that was at 11:11. So the 11th hour also is coming up as 11 before 11. At 11:13, and then what's the missing number? And that came up before too. Wait a minute, I missed that. Yeah, when I started talking about the King of Swords with the 51 and then the 15 that reflected on that line, it was 11:14, which referenced the 12 and 13 in between missing. And then here is the 11:13 where the 12 is missing, but again referencing 11, 12, 13 again. The underlying energy of the 25 of the Knight of Wands, the Cobra, the Queen of Swords, which is 52, and the high honor of the teacher's perspective, a guide. When the student is ready, the teacher comes. With the 3-gun or 3-cannon salute, or war declared, at the Queen of Wands, who's toxic in the apple tree, or is that a peach? As it boomerangs back at them, so anyone who sends negative energy, it like automatically comes back at them. As the 14 is the patient angel, or a patient with a message of concern, and the 7 of the seal broken or confidentiality stolen, as the boomerang right back with a message. 747 and 7147, and the plain 747 came up the other day. It came up in my one of these reads. I don't know if it was this one specifically, but it might be. But the plain 747 came up as significant, and it was just an honoring of the 747 as Boeing is no longer building them anymore. 7147 also came up, and then 2 keys and tree keys as the 19 of University and the 6 of Swords, signed, sealed, delivered, or institutional exposure, with 2 Saggies and 2 Cancers, as the Knight of Wands and Queen of Wands attack in a double message that bounces back, return to sender. With peace in the sun, or toxic results, or tox screen from the hospital, or detox or rehab facility, after the 17 of a gift that's presented at Buck Mountain in energetic exchange, or area code 219, which is Indiana. I'm getting Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. So Oklahoma's coming up. Is that Oklahoma? Anyway, Gary, Indiana's coming up. And the change of car or residence, or moving on up to the east side, or gift trip to the mountain or move, or to Pisces and Virgo as Justice cracks the whip with the Page of Pentacles and Page of Swords, or emergent transition with Libra and Scorpio, and the Knight of Wands honoring, or Virgo and Libra graduation. Scorpio, Sag honoring, and again, in general, graduations are coming up, so that's significant here. At 11:35 of Justice and the Wounded Warrior, the 9 of Wands, the underlying energy is the moth to the flame. As the beaver who works hard and the lizard are unable to resist this light of a dear one and the bee, or Debbie, or after dear Evelyn at the Van Gogh exhibit, dear bee replies as friendly dolphin guides the hyena to the cobra, or to the principal's office, or higher guidance, or an honors program. At 11:37 of aligning with the King of Cups, or unconditional love. The first card out here is the dragonfly and a beautiful mind, but toxic breath, or breathalyzer test. 2 as 1, lightening things up between cobra and vulture, and newbie who's intimidated or has a nervous stomach, but great energy. With 1 card of the dragon's eye, higher self, and the solar plexus, confidant. Or high cobra prices as Dr. or dragon, which comes up as Dr. Agon, on a struggle or quest, flies, departs, or contests. Or Dr. R, number 18, with abundant gas, colorless, odorless, inert, and noble. Dr. shrinks, or great and strong, or Dr. to die as vulture hovers over 2 hearts as 1, or someone with worms. Quantum entanglement of crow, gazelle, and horse, all on guard and calm at the same time, with bear finally coming out. It took long enough. With the Queen of Cups, High Priestess, and Emperor, or the Queen of Cups, Higher Self, and Emperor, or Queen of Cups with the Nun and the Cardinal, or Greek or Russian Orthodox, or Sister accompanying, or Queen of Cups and Emperor to confession and stressed out without sleep before going to see the Empress, or travel together, or didn't get any sleep on the plane. With Pisces, Virgo, Aries, Cancer, and Taurus here at 11:54 of alignment of the Page of Swords. Again, the message or the mercurial energy of Gemini and Virgo. At 11:55, aligning with the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God, as the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles divide and conquer once again, the Knight of Wands to the Empress and the Knight of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles, Virgo, or to get the King of Pentacles to Hermit for advice on his freedom, while the Knight of Wands keeps the Empress busy. The King of Cups takes the rap or is grilled as the Queen of Wands swears in or observes Capricorn swear in or wave, or ball and chain as the wounded warrior on guard and wounded and pissed because everyone knows the devil lies. And I was just getting I was getting Raymond, but Rain Man also just came up as well. Because everyone loves Rain Man. All right, so obviously autism is coming up. So someone may be autistic or have autistic tendencies. And again, there's a lot in TV coming up about autism because there's a lot more autism that will be seen with the new babies coming in. And it's not autism, it's a higher vibration, because everyone knows the devil lies as the, and again, there is toxic energies coming in that causes the problems regarding these energies because they're extra sensitive and empathic. As the wounded warriors on guard and wounded and pissed because everyone knows the devil lies, as the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles come full circle, authentic, clean, and fully exposed, voluntarily, with twin or choice to make the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles are the sovereign energies. One sovereign in their emotions, learning to be independent, and the other one sovereign in their practical life. Coming full circle, fully authentic. It's coming up as them being clean, like they have nothing to be afraid of because they have nothing to be exposed. They are fully exposed, fully voluntarily, like an open door policy, with twin or choice to make with lover or from or this energy coming from an affectionate Queen of Pentacles, Virgo perhaps, and Gemini Queen of Swords, or magician who's here between the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, demonstrating as one collects and one talks. Again, mercurial bookends of Virgo and Gemini there, as the magician stands in the middle. So at 12:04 is the Hanging Man and the 4 of today, 4-4, or the Queen of Swords introduces the Dark Knight to the judge, or maybe explains the ascension process or the twin flame process to the judge, or Death and Justice of Scorpio and Libra inspiring kids, where the Grim Reaper leaves the killing fields to seek justice. The knight on their white horse is the Dark Knight, right? The knight on the white horse without time for a priest and children's judgments for walking right over the old man at last rites or dead on arrival. Perhaps he wasn't a nice man, and the Dark Knight seeks justice of a higher court. A note to get out of school due to death or expulsion, with the Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles, and Page of Cups, connecting with the King of Wands as the King of Swords and the Page of Swords soulmates come together to offer love to each other. Or the King of Swords is getting a response or message before, like just making sure they will respond to them before proposing as the winged messenger. And that could be a proposal as well at 12:12, the two hanging out. All right, so now we'll go back to the message on the table, which is a really quick one. And this is at 2:24:20. which again is Omega. It's 444 on the clock. How appropriate today on 44 Lambsgate. And 444 is very much the angelic realms. And 24 is Omega, the crowning and illumination. And the 2 of the High Priestess. And the, was it 20 on the other side, which is the wake-up call. It was just 444 here too. So very much angelic realms here. So this read on the table here for the Twin Flames was cut and dealt the Sirian Starseed deck at 4:14 to 15, which is the Angel and the Devil. For today, 4/4, Ramsgate. At 4:23 to 24, which is the King and Queen of Wands, was the E of Chalices. And E is the like the E tower of the feminine, but also the one equal and congruent to emotions. The 4:24 to 25 is when I finished doing the clarifications, which is the Queen of Wands to the Knight of Wands, with transition as the major arcana. And after the read was Ascension, and then Justice and Reason as well, which is the Emperor, which I have those cards on the side. With the 4 of Swords, there were 4 swords, 2 wands, 1 pentacle, and 3 cups, which brings up the 42 and 13, which is the 2 of cups, and the Death card, or transition, the Dark Knight. And the court cards were the Page of Cups, Page of Swords, and the King of Wands. Before the read was the Knight of Cups, and after the read was the King of Cups, as well as the Wounded Warrior, Nine of Wands. There were double 1s, 5s, and 9s in the read, the 11 of Justice, the 55 of Excalibur, the Truth, the Ace of Swords, rather, and then the 99 of Strong Compassion. And 99 represents the 0.99999, right? That's unlimited. It never gets there, right? It just gets smaller and smaller, but it's unlimited. The 9-10 begin again, the 45 of the 5 of Cups, the 1-2 of the Hanging Man, and again the purging at Easter for Jesus' death, and then beginning again. So the numerology cards that came up, the underlying energy is love and 6, and the card that came out here is 46. Again, the 46 that came up in the beginning of domestic harmony, of the 6 of Cups, the children loving each other, inner children and outer children. And the code line here was all about the number 5114, which is the 11 between the 5 and the 4, which is the Page of Swords Messenger. Again, they're bringing up the mercurial bookends again, and the 11 between, the alignment. And that came from 5110 and 4, today's date 4, and the 51 of the King of Swords, the 10 of Destiny. And the messages came up regarding this and domestic harmony. A source energy of the twins, 1 of 2, source the King of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or legacy, to rest in 5D connect, the energy of emotions. 8, somebody might have had a TIA, which is a small stroke, a TIA sudden event, total weight of the world, or someone might feel like they had a TIA because, they had a concussion or something like that. Again, I have 2 friends who fell and had concussions, just as I had one many years ago, that led me on my journey. And there's 2 bees outside my window playing. The TIA sudden event, the total weight of the mastectomy. So someone might have had a stroke or a mastectomy. This also could be as a complication of a mastectomy. Or the mastectomy is just 1 of 2. Or source of support of the twins, the King of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, on break or taking a rest. Or the feminine's like stepping up physically, which then forces the masculine to rest. This could be a post-op rest, or after a death or ending, or spring break for Easter. And also the message of the seed, or stirring up of a sudden event. The tale, the story, the 1 of 2 sources, right? There's always his, hers, and the actual story. Expanding to ace, the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or legacy, of the 4 of Swords, the 5D connection, and resting for sudden emotional event to happen. So there were the 2 of Swords was the top card in the underlying energy reversed. All right, so these cards here with the mini cards on top, and below the 2 of Swords. And in this card is this deck, the Sirian Starseed deck, is very much of someone like floating on air on the jetties down the shore, juggling the 2. But the Two of Swords reversed, and below that was the Knight of Cups, Three of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, all upright, and then the Seven of Cups reversed. So the Knight, it's very interesting, the Seven of Cups reversed was in the underlying energy, because then it's the last mini card up there, the Seven of Cups reversed, which is basically letting go of emotional attachments that no longer serve. Could be dumping multiple loads. Somebody could be having garage sales to get rid of their stuff that they love, things that don't resonate with them anymore. But the Knight of Cups comes together, perhaps Capricorn or Pisces, with a big offering to dump emotional attachments or multiple loads, or all must go, or be more realistic about things. When the Two of Swords reversed, with clarity at 452, the 4 of the Emperor and the 52 of the Queen of Swords, with clarity in reaping steps or coming back around or downstairs. Perhaps the past didn't work out with the Knight of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups is upright here. Perhaps working on clarity or to clear things with a recent small gathering or friends hanging out, perhaps stressed out driving too much, or relief after a long trip, or after a party overslept, or having nightmares about car accidents, or feeling relieved when you wake up, or just happy to be still for a bit after too much socializing, or returning from a trip with new information that clears your anxieties, or celebration. Or one that was sick for a long time may have passed away or released from the hospital, or this could be celebration because somebody's cancer cleared. And the recent past here is the Five of Cups reversed, over a loss after truth about uncomfortable feelings and being under the radar, or a tarnished reputation or negative attention with issues at work, dissatisfied Emperor reversed in a heated exchange with death or dark night coming in to set them free. Now the worst is over, perhaps even bliss. Or the Knight of Pentacles offers help after the Knight of Cups fell downstairs, and the foundation of the Five of Swords upright, and the frog stretching to become the prince, juggling 3 and saving 2 for later, as the King of Wands reversed, the Knight of Cups upright, and the King of Wands reversed, who may be tired of being the prince charming for others to get over their emotions and heal, with the King of Pentacles upright falling out in the past, or perhaps someone having a hard time with their kids, or a grief process at 512, the Hierophant and the Hanging Man, as the central energy is the Ace of Wands reversed, frustrated, uninspired, or feeling abused, or no flame, right? No inspiration, not feeling like getting up and going and doing what they need to do. The Page of Cups is reversed here, rejected or vulnerable, feeling shame or shameful and entitled, on a quest or in conflict, in moving, visiting, or unstable home, in a downturn or twist of fate and temptation, inviting, or Capricorn Page of Pentacles, with Aries upright and reversed, Scorpio and Capricorn upright here, challenged by the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, community, or legacy, and the Four of Pentacles, which is the Divine Masculine's heart in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, in the Batcave. The Four of Pentacles is upright with the Magician reversed, perhaps insecure or tight with their money, or saving for tools, or for vacation or kids, exposing all of their lack of growth and frustration to the Queen of Cups upright of the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, and secret passion. With Gemini or Virgo reversed, Leo upright, and Pisces reversed at 519 of freedom, change, expansion, the Hierophant and the Sun, perhaps the Divine Masculine feels cock-blocked due to the Queen of Cups, with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community to lean on, like they can always run back to the family. They don't need him. The end of the now moment and the Page of Cups reversed, perhaps being rejected, or a child feeling vulnerable or shy or entitled, after Leo or pet offered big love, dumping a load, their burdens or responsibilities, or perhaps coming clean, but only after they were caught, rejected Page of Cups reversed by the King of Cups upright, in injustice of the Knight of Swords, accusation of truth, without options of the King of Swords reversed, who may be in negative self-talk or lying to themselves to get the wounded warrior reversed to surrender, or get advice with the hermit or doctor for injury, as the Knight of Wands may have fell and has to wait in the ER, or sharing depression of sneakiness, or to come clean about patient Empress or higher love of the mother. With Sag, Aquarius upright, Bye, sweetie. Okay. Sagittarius reversed and Sagittarius upright here, or a patient angel of abundance, or one who nursed them back to health and or waited for them. At 5:30, which is the Hierophant and the home, soon here is the Page of Swords reversed. After the Ace of Pentacles is upright, a big offer or payment to the Nine of Pentacles reversed, or dependent, or one who feels powerless, or support for powerlessness, or a child who spends too much. Sorry, that's the wind closing the door. The Queen of Swords is upright, speaking to the Page of Swords reversed, to inspire them, or to get the Page of Wands excited about the Queen of Pentacles reversed, with the Ten of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, or showing them how to inspire others. As the Twin Flames and the King of Wands reversed may be bored or tired, ignoring loving messages or offers, not helping them sleep, or rising above, awakening, and holding back an announcement or call, or poor judgment and the need to swallow their pride about a deception, or the need to get up early, or get an alarm, or set the alarm, or at the new moon past, having been hung out to dry, facing their fears of aggressive person who's very good with their words that hurt and drama, or after a sudden event, or lovers to cause war, conflict, or the King of Wands reversed, tired, or offering and being ignored, or refusing to sleep with them. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is transition, death, the Emperor reversed, passing, or this is just Easter and JC. As the Hierophant's reversed in a divorce, this could be a divorce decree that comes in, or a divorce notice that comes in, or the ending of a contract spiritually outside the box, or Scorpio upright with Taurus reversed, with negative self-talk, rumors, or child with a mouth, or lying and spying. With the Two of Pentacles, performance, or juggling, or the need for peace and recovery from exile. At 5:41, the freedom of the Ace of Cups and the Holy Grail, and the block of the Four of Swords reversed, off break, rest, or back from the beach, with the Ten of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, standing up for herself, or too aggressive when not seeing eye to eye with someone, and the Nine of Cups reversed, who's unhappy or dissatisfied, implementing a plan or spending to complete a cycle. Perhaps things with a lover, or trip with one you love, or Pisces and Gemini are twins here, the world complete after dumping emotional attachments to travel, and Divine Feminine, Pisces, or injustice of the wounded warrior surrendering to the King of Cups, upright, and the Emperor reversed, or the King of Cups being unreasonable at 5:45, the freedom to purge. At 10:38, the destiny of the Queen of Cups, the Two of Swords reversed in the underlying energy, no longer floating in knowing and facing the fears of the King of Wands reversed in transition or death, and the Five of Cups reversed over a loss, needing flame, and challenged by the Ten of Pentacles, with the Page of Swords reversed, not talking or not sleeping, with the Page of Cups reversed, unhappy, coming full circle, with injustice of surrender to the King of Cups upright, and the Emperor reversed, or King of Cups who may be out of control, or perhaps is just retiring. At 10:57, the destiny of the Three of Swords, or separation, and the Knight of Cups reunion, groundbreaking emotions, letting go, with clarity to get over loss or regrets, stretching without growth, challenged by the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, community, or legacy, and their rejection, and the King of Wands reverses negativity or silent treatment, in transition or a death, and not sleeping, not getting their way, with the Ascension world and justice and surrender and unconditional love, with no logic at 11 o'clock on the dot, double zeros of source energy backing up the 11 of alignment. So it is now 2:38:37. That's perfect. Or excuse me, it was 10:38:34, which is the energetic exchange of the Queen of Cups, High Priestess or Higher Self, and 38:44, which is the her harvest, Hercules. So just a quick energy card since we've gone long already. For the Twin Flames, we have the eggs out on the table for Easter. And Leo, and the number 4 of the Lambda Leap from 4 of April to Leo, which is Lion's Gate, and the alignment was Sirius. And Venus we have coming up after that. And that can represent too, because April goes into Taurus, and then Venus comes in to bring Taurus to Libra. All right, so what is the energy here? What is our takeaway from all these messages? The 46 of the inner child and the thinking man. And that was what I was posting all week. All my cloud pictures were, I posted like 5 different thinking men, and one of them was Van Gogh. So it's really cool. So the thinking man, 46, is again the 6 of Cups, the children loving each other and being their inner child, right? Finding their mission. And there's the 50 of the angel of strength, right? Supporting them. And then Lionsgate. And this can represent today Ramsgate into Lionsgate, also April to May. Right? April showers bring May flowers. And then the 2 of alignment, cornucopia, Thanksgiving. And again, this is Easter representing here. And of course, November's Thanksgiving. So that's, Thanksgiving is usually in Saggy though. So Saggy and Gemini may be coming up. And then we have the 11 of the twins. So that's Gemini energy. So this could represent May to June as well. And then the bottom of the deck is envy of the 20 of the Dark Mother energy, right? The Wicked Witch of the West. Those who may be envious or jealous and or judgmental in the wake-up call to bliss. Right? Or perhaps, you know, jealousy of a mother or jealousy of an ex. That kind of stuff is in the underlying energy, the wake-up call, and then again, this community. This is the underlying energy. The 3 of Cups have come together with the man holding the coin, the token of their appreciation to the community. Again, proms coming up, the 7 of the Chariot. And again, any evil stares from people are going to come right back on them. Okay? And this could be envy, you know, the mother could be envious of the younger girls. Or the catch of the man with all the money. That kind of stuff could be coming up. Or feeling like the community, this could be a mother and son, where the community comes between them. This is all in the underlying energy, though. This is the energy that's passing after the goddess of the moon. So the Queen of Swords coming together with the community, and then judgment as well of the mother, or just public judgment in general of those who may be envious. All right, so that is the energy that came up for you guys. You notice like the masculine and feminine energies, and then Easter. You know, this can represent Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Easter as well. And again, the April to May, and then through Libra as well with Venus is coming up as like one big celebration. And June was coming up with Gemini too, May to June. And then July and August came up too with Leo. So the whole season through 4-4 to 8-8. And then again, Taurus through Libra as Venus energy is coming up. Okay. Oh, I know it. I wanted to show you. Do I have it here? Nope. It's in the other room. I guess I'll have to show you later the pictures. I'll post one of the pictures of Van Gogh. But anyway, guys, thanks for being here. And remember to drink your water, your rest, your joy, your nature. Go out and enjoy the weather, the beauty. Rise and be loved. Follow your own intuition. And I'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye.